Holy crap.
People persist in doubting the evidence.
Don't run and hide. Don't be afraid. Don't turn away any longer. The truth will set you free.
You're listening to Jimmy Church, Fade to Black.
All of our partners towards Jimmy Church.
And now, your host, the captain of conspiracy, the prince of paranormal. This ain't your daddy's radio network show. This is Jimmy Church, Fade to Black.
All right, welcome everybody. How you doing? Fade to Black. Thursday. Yeah. Bespoke radio for the masses. Today's Thursday, January 29th. 29 days into the new year, 336 days left. Tonight is Fader Night. Open lines, 323-825-5045, 323-825-5045. You can Skype in Fade2Black 14. The number 14. We are live from the truthfunders.com studios right here in Burbank, California. Do you have a book, an expedition, invention, or paranormal documentary you need to get funded? Go to truthfunders.com. Truth Funders, the number one source of backing your project into the fringe. For KJCR and the Game Changer Network, I am your oh-so-humble host, Jimmy Church. What is crockin', everybody? It is Thursday, the greatest night of the week. We have been doing this, Thursday nights, call-in night. Oh, man. Best night of the week. Oh, I am so ready. Welcome to everybody listening all around the world, all across the United States, hither and thither, to and fro, back and forth, up and down, east and west, north and south, far and near. Welcome. Our friends to the north, to the south. Man, I love this night. I just love Fader Night. Okay. Lots of subjects to put on the table tonight. And I know what everybody's going to want to talk about, so we can do that. You know what I mean? The divorce. So I'm sure that subject's going to come up over and over tonight. You know what? It's your show, Fader Knots. That's fine. Big salute to the proud men and women in uniform all around the world, defending our right to freedom of speech. Think about it. Without them, there is no me, there is no you, there is no us. And you couldn't hear me right now. The podcast is up and running and great and updated. All the questions, will the podcast continue now that you're on Spreaker? Now that you're going to iHeartRadio, what's going to happen? No, the podcast stays right there. YouTube stays right there. Nothing is changing. YouTube was a big concern this week. I got so much email about it. We did. And no, it's fine. YouTube stays. There's a lot of people out there that depend on YouTube, and that's it. And I get that. So as much work as YouTube takes, it's for you, so not a problem. Faders.org, it's free, it's fun. Become a Fader Not today. There will be somebody in Twitter tonight. That's fine. Follow us on Twitter at JChurchRadio. Somebody's going to pop into Twitter and say, hey, man, how do I become a Fader Not? Well, that's what you got to do. That's step one. You got to pop in. You got to do it. You got to pop into to Twitter, start making some friends. Hashtag F2B. That is the sandbox. Last night, we burned over 5,000 tweets. It was absolutely off the hook. Thank you to Dr. Aaron Judkins last night. That was one of the best shows. They're all good. Last night, the way that Aaron flowed through things was really, really cool. Thank you, Aaron. Great show. Aaron made a lot of friends last night. Maverick, I am ready. Tonight is Fader night. Open lines all night. I'll bust him open here in just a second, so let's just relax. We've got a long night in front of us, a lot of phone calls, so hold off for just a bit, and then we will open up the phone lines. All right, this is Fade to Black. We cover, for all the new listeners that are here, this show is about, it's about ufology. It's about conspiracies and the Illuminati and ancient astronaut theory. We love to do that. Lost civilizations. Last night with Dr. Judkins, covering all of my favorite things, Puma Punku and Giza. And it was just, that's what we do. That's what we do here. All those fringe things that make you think. Time travel. Love John Teeter. Love that subject. And that's what we do here on Fade to Black. So all of you new listeners, this is a 3-hour show. It is live. It's a free-form conversation. And it's just to show that what you want to do, you want to curl up in bed with your blankie, your Oreos, your cup of milk, or whatever you're going to drink. You just want to get comfortable. Turn the lights down just like it is here in the studio. Studio's dark. Studio's real dark. And just listen and learn. That's what the show is. Harkens back to the old days of AM radio. And that's what it is. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. Follow us on Twitter at JChurchRadio. If you've got any questions, comments, you want to request a guest, Jimmy at jimmychurchradio.com is what you want to do. If you're over on the website, jimmychurchradio.com right now, you can go to the contact page. You can email the producers of the show, too, as well. All of the email filters through them. If it's good, it gets to me. It's that simple. If it's good, it gets to me. And if you just want to talk to the producers and do that, you can do that. And not a problem. But any questions, comments, guests, anything like that, that's what you do. All right. And also, if you are at Spreaker right now, all of the links are there for Twitter and Facebook. I think YouTube is there. I'm not too sure. I'm not positive. But anyway, do go and follow us on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter. Everything is updated. All the show updates, all the guests, breaking news, things like that. Everything is on Facebook. We update the website every day, so you can go there. There's always fresh stuff. We have a really cool news page, too, for the news you know nothing about. And so the news is updated as everything else is updated. So there. So you should. I have a couple of places that I go every day when I wake up in the morning and checking out news stuff. And I'm now going to my own website. Isn't that the weirdest thing? To see what's out there. So it's updated constantly. So when you get up and, you got your coffee in the morning, that's what you want to do. Just head straight over to jimmychurchradio.com. Check out that news page. All right, tonight is Fader night. It will be open lines. And for all of you new listeners, it is action nonstop. If you want to get in, you got to call and hang tough. We try to get to everything in the next 3 hours, next 2.5 hours. We'll bust through, 30, 40, 50 phone calls. And that's like 2 phone calls a minute. Okay, so it's insane. But that's what you got to do. 323-825-5045. You can also Skype in Fade to Black 14. If you have any questions for me during the show, you can hashtag F2BQ. just like All About the Fade, who just tweeted in, "Are Slee Stacks real?" Of course Slee Stacks are real. Absolutely. Are you joking? That is a joke. That's a joke, right? Slee Stacks. Man, love that show. Land of the Lost. All right. So there you go. Let's see. I started to skip over. Okay, let's get things cracking. Today, guitarist Johnny Lang, 34 years old, lives right down the street from the studio, right here in the Valley. 34 years old. Dude can really play blues guitar. He's actually the real deal. I didn't want to like Johnny Lang at first. I didn't know if, I didn't. But once you, especially as a player, and you watch and just listen, dude is the real deal. I don't know. I think he is. Some are saying the stream is dropping for them. That's from Minnie Fang. Hey, that's end user stuff. The stream is totally rocking over on this end. So I have no idea. I'll address this right now, Fang. And Fang just did that on Twitter. Tune in. We're getting close to that, too. Man, that's such a paperwork process. But we're almost done. Been in communication with them all day today. And also, iHeartRadio will be up and running. And that'll probably happen sometime over the weekend. All right? So what we're trying to do. Now, listen to me. If you're having issues with the stream, maybe check out different sources. Go to jimmychurchradio.com. We have a stream there. We have a separate link that's going back to Spreaker. You can also go over to faders.org, and you can listen to the show there. So we want multiple stream sources out there. That's the whole reason for having TuneIn and iHeartRadio, obviously, is iHeartRadio, and that'll be another source, too. I don't know what your platforms are. I was looking today at some of the reports coming in from the different sources. We had a chunk of people on Android. We had a chunk of people on iPhones, had a chunk of people on iPads, computers, Jimmy Church Radio, Spreaker, faders.org. It was spread all over the place, and I like that. And the complaints about streaming and dropouts, out of the thousands and thousands that listened to the show, we had last night on the website 15,000 people on the website last night. And one or two tweets or emails talking about the stream. So the stream overall is smooth and solid. I don't know how to address it other than maybe change where you're streaming from. I don't know, but hopefully getting TuneIn as another choice, Roku, and so forth. But that's what we're trying to do. We'll try to get it the best for everybody. And if you're having problems, let us know exactly what it is. Are you listening on an Android? Are you listening on an iPhone? Are you listening on a tablet? Are you listening on a home computer? What is it that you're doing? And let us know exactly. Okay? And we'll get it all right. We're doing our best. Okay, let's see here. Where was I? Oh, Johnny Lang. Also today, actor Sam Trammell. Cool dude, by the way. 46 years old. He plays Sam in True Blood. And our dead guy's birthday today is Ramones drummer Tommy Ramone. 1949, died in 2014. I wasn't a big Ramones guy growing up. I just didn't get it. Their hits and, Rock and Roll High School, I get that stuff. Sedated actually is a pretty cool song. But I had friends that were just Ramones to the core, and I didn't get it. I didn't get the Ramones. I didn't. Sedated's awesome. I mean, that's a great tune, but I never got the Ramones. Did you? I mean, the Fadernauts are a smart musical audience. I'd like to know right now on Twitter, did you get the Ramones? I listen on my iPhone 5C, and you sound marvelous. That's coming in from Twitter. Okay, yes. I guess everybody's fine. I'm looking at Twitter now. Okay. See, everybody's good. If you are having problems, shoot us an email. Let us know. We'll see if we can get it addressed. But back to the Ramones. Were you Ramones? Growing up, Ramones? I mean, they go back so far, too. That Sam guy is very attractive. Okay, MG, we're moving on. All right, follow us on Twitter at JChurchRadio. That's what you want to do. The sandbox is hashtag F2B. Tonight is Fader Night. Open lines all night, 323-825-5045. You can email throughout the show, Jimmy at jimmychurchradio.com. Go to the website. You can do it from the contact page. Tweet that, questions, hashtag F2BQ. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. Fade to Black, bespoke radio for the masses. Tonight's Fader Night. Best night of the week. I'll be back. I bet you Michael Anderson. Watch this. First call. I'll be back right after this.
You're listening to Jimmy Church, Fade to Black.
What's up, revolutionaries? It's me, Jimmy Church. Do you have an IRS or state tax issue? Well, I did, and I called national tax experts. My problems were fixed, done, fini, and man, I gotta tell you, it was a relief. National tax experts are a recognized tax office that services clients in all 50 states. It doesn't matter where you live. Give them a call. I'm telling you, they take the time to understand each and every client's individual financial status as well as their financial goals. And that's exactly what you need, my brother, when you're taking on the evil 3-letter. So, seriously, give them a call today at 1-877-909-5444. Again, 1-877-909-5444. Or go check out their website, www.nattaxexperts.com. That's NATTAXEXPERTS.com. Tell them Jimmy sent you.
This is KJCR at jimmychurchradio.com.
Kind of weird about the Ramones. This is Fade to Black. The comments that are coming in right now on Twitter. It's kind of strange. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. This is... These are crazy. Tonight's Fader Night. Open lines, 323-825-5045. My girl says the Ramones are the original punks before the Clash and the Sex Pistols. I'm also not a Ramone guy. That's from Stallone. This is from Joshua. I'm also not a Ramone guy. Maybe age has something to do with it. And then Ant and Oz, Ramones. I won't say what he said. He loves them. But yeah, kind of all over the place. Bonzo goes to Bitburg. Ramones, I want to be sedated. You know, okay, I get it. It's kind of all over the place. Oh, look, as predicted. I didn't even get to the news. There he is. You know, it usually first on deck. Michael Anderson, Naptown, checking in. How are you, brother?
Hey, Jimmy, how are you doing this evening?
It's a great night. How is the audio out there in Naptown, man? Is it amazing or what?
Yeah, everything's great. I've just been using your website. I downloaded the app for the other thing, but I just prefer just to go to your website and just plays from there just fine.
Yeah, me too. I haven't downloaded the app. I've been tempted. You know what I don't do? Whenever, I maybe a couple of times, but on my phone, and I have one of those huge Androids that doubles as a tablet. You know, it's just this huge phone. And I'm not going to say what it is, but
Right.
whenever I'm on a website or anything like that and it says download the app, I don't do it. I just go to the website. And I did the same thing with Spreaker. I still just go to the Spreaker website, and I've been avoiding downloading the app. So I don't know how the app looks, because then the app always opens, and maybe I just like the way the website works. Am I making sense? I don't know.
Very much so.
Yeah.
But usually, if I'm not in front of my computer, then I'm usually out and about and don't have time to really listen to anything, anyways.
But the audio is good?
Yeah, everything sounds great.
How does stereo sound? Isn't it just amazing?
It took a while for me to get used to the volume. I had to turn it down a little bit because your low ends would hit my speakers pretty good.
Yeah, right on.
The Ramones were the original punk band. When they went over to England, Johnny Rotten wasn't even in the Sex Pistols yet.
Right.
And they met Johnny Rotten at that clothing store, and he was,
Virgin.
pretty much like a big fanboy.
Yeah, Virgin. That's where Virgin Records came from. I think it was Virgin Clothing.
Yeah, that one, the guy that ran it was like, his name was Malcolm or something like that. And he was a big fetish freak, and,
Well, rumors are, and I'm pretty sure about this. I could be wrong, but that's where Virgin Airlines came from.
Well, hey, man, the guy that owns Virgin, he's a pretty crazy dude.
He was part of that scene, and that's
I
where
could see that.
Yeah, that's where all of that came from.
I mean, Blondie was from that scene, and Adam Ant and all those people.
You know
came
what?
From that scene.
You're so right, but I gotta say. And I really, really, really mean this from the bottom of my heart. And we all know how I feel about Big Hair Rock, man. I love that stuff, and Black Sabbath. But I got to tell you, never mind the Bullocks, Sex Pistols, that record, top to bottom, front to back, beginning to end, every song, every note, every syllable, everything about that record is perfect. That record slams. I'm
a big Sex Pistols hater, man.
Oh no! You need to go back and listen to it.
Not a single. I mean, even on the album, Sid Vicious wasn't even.
Oh man,
and then if
killing me.
If you saw the reunion a while back, where Johnny Rotten did all right. With
I did.
But then you watched that reunion, and it was just disgusting.
Check this out. True story. When Guns N' Roses was writing and rehearsing for Chinese Democracy in Santa Monica at the Complex, there was two big main studios there, about the size of basketball courts, right? These two huge rehearsal rooms, a bunch of other studios, but two main rooms. And GNR had one room. And we were there every single day writing for years. I mean, when I first got there, it was probably 1994, 1995. We didn't check out until 2000. Okay, so that's how long we were there. So next door, that other studio across the hall, everybody was coming in for a couple of weeks and rehearsing. All the big acts, everybody that was really cool. And we were able to hang out. And then 1 week, or it was maybe a month, Sex Pistols are there rehearsing. And man, I got to tell you, that was... Oh man, it was it was insanely perfect.
So you have to work with Buckethead, huh?
Oh yeah, a little bit. He came in towards the end. He wasn't.
From what little information I could find about that guy, he is a whacked out individual.
Yeah. But a serious player. I'm not sure about.
I saw him at Bonnaroo. He's guy's a machine.
Yeah. Serious player, really talented guy. I don't want to get into details about a lot of that because it's private, and what goes down in a rehearsal studio stays there. But
right. I know Ozzy said he wanted him to play with him, but he couldn't put up with the guy's vagabond lifestyle.
Yeah, because I'm not sure how much of it is real. You know what? I need to back up. I can't really comment. But
understand.
But that being said, when he's in that mode, he's serious about it. Okay, I'm just telling you right now, it's a tripped out thing to witness, and that's as far as I'm going. But he came in towards the end, Michael. There were so many guitar players that came through there, and probably after Slash had left. Man, I'm giving away private stuff here. After Slash left, Paul Hugh was the only guitar player there for a while.
Is that the Nine Inch Nails guy? Or?
No. Again, that came in later.
Okay.
From 1995, 94, 95, 96, maybe 97-ish, leaning into there. Those years, Paul was the main cat. I think they brought in Zach Wilde. He came in for a minute. I tried to get Doug Aldrich in the band, but Doug chose to do some other stuff. But I pushed to get Doug in the band. So there was a lot of guys that came through there and were considered. In the end, that little version, though, I will say that little version of GNR with Buckethead was pretty intriguing and pretty electric. But they're good today, and I like the lineup that they have now. They've got 15 guitar players now, and but it's pretty solid. I think they do it right. So how do we get off on that subject? Wow, that was a weird tangent.
Went from Ramones on.
Yeah, right. Oh man.
One quick last question. So with your new network and whatnot, are you still gonna have Bill and Nancy and those kind of people on as guests and whatnot?
I just saw Nancy tweet a second ago. I don't know if she's listening to the show right now, but she just tweeted. Bill and Nancy are cool. I mean, I don't know. I haven't been in touch with them since we left. I actually haven't talked to anybody from the network except for Dr. J. I've talked to Keith a couple of times, of course, but the door is open. Look at Aaron Judkins was on last night. He's got a show that's on Dark Matter on Friday nights. It's actually on Inception Network Live, but Dark Matter, I think, does a replay on Friday nights. Maybe they don't anymore.
Yeah.
I don't know. But I have no issues with anybody over at Dark Matter, and the separation was intended to be as clean as something like that can be. You know what I mean? You kind of have to look at it that way. If you go in to your boss, and let's just say something like this. Maybe you are a detailer at a big car wash, right? And you're the top detailer guy there. And you just feel like you want to start your own detailing company, and you want to break away and take the chances on life. And you go into your boss and you go, dude, okay, I'm out. I'm starting my own detail company. Well, your boss isn't going to be happy. And that's kind of what this was like, and I don't want to paint any other picture from it than that. There wasn't any outside influences. There was no reasons for it. It's just that what we wanted to do and the opportunities that were in front of us. One of them was iHeartRadio and expanding the audience and trying to combine that with Dark Matter is what we wanted to do.
You hit your ceiling and you want your glass ceiling instead.
Yeah, we couldn't do both, and there's reasons for that. And I'll also say this. I made this comment the other day. I think I did it on Facebook, but is the only people that know the truth are myself, Keith, and Art. Okay, that's it. Anybody else that wants to comment on other hosts or other fans or people that say that they're in the know, they don't know. They weren't part of any of the conversations. Okay, that's it.
I just figure you're gonna have to have Bill on again or something, because he's like Mike Barra. He's got his fingers in everything.
Yeah. Bill's great.
Gonna have to cross again.
Yeah, Bill's great. Nancy's great. Love them both.
Yeah.
And Bill is a walking pillar of knowledge. If you could let Bill go and let him talk about the 60s, that's a 1 week show. Man.
Every subject he's got an answer for, or did something legally with it, or knows somebody that did something lawyer work with it. He just seems like he's got his fingers in everything.
Or illegally with it. No doubt about it.
Well, hey, good luck on your new network and everything, man.
I'm going to ask you really quick, who's going to win the Super Bowl on Sunday?
I think the Seahawks.
You going?
I think the Patriots are going to be in such a weird mindset that with everything going on with them Inflategate that it's going to affect them. And Tom Brady, Tom Brady, you know when you grab a football what it feels like. As soon as you grab it, what it feels like. What's up.
Sure. Yeah, so, you do it thousands and tens of thousands of times in your life.
So just on morality alone, Seahawks are going to win.
Do you think? Okay, all right. Do you think the Patriots care?
If they win?
No, about Deflategate. Do you think they care?
Well, I think that they're used to playing that way, but it's ultimately it's all about money. This whole thing is about money,
right?
And basically, it can hurt money.
Okay,
you can't. It's hard to sell. It's hard to tell your little children that they can be, superhero football players when they're tainted.
Do you think that the spin that the media started to do on Deflategate and looked at numbers? I read something. They scored one touchdown with deflated footballs, and all the other scoring was done with regular. I don't even know what's right or wrong. But they would have.
I think the whole thing to begin with is marketing from beginning to end. I think the outcome already exists. I think the whole thing from beginning to end is just a big conspiracy, and I'm serious about that. I think NFL is just a big conspiracy for marketing and whatnot, and little things are done behind the scenes to make it happen, and the outcome's already done. When the electricity came off, that was all a big ploy.
Right.
When Janet Jackson showed her boob,
right,
that was all a big marketing ploy.
Sure.
It's all just controlled, and yes, it's very tinfoil hat of me to say so, but that's just what it is.
Patrick Flynn just tweeted, "Black flag, love black flag," and check this out. Brad Kelly, awesome question. He says, "I have a question that has always bugged me. This is a show about conspiracies and fun and fringe and all that." But he just tweeted this question, so he says, "What was Blinded by the Light about? Doing acid at a fair?" Now, you remember that song. That song was written by Bruce Springsteen. Everybody thinks it's Manfred Mann.
That was about racing cars.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I thought it was about cars. Could we be wrong? Was it really about doing acid at a fair? That is interesting. I always thought it was about cars and drag racing on streets in New Jersey.
What do you think the Phil Collins song that everybody guesses about is about? The Coming in the Air Tonight song.
What do you think?
I think it's about him catching somebody banging his wife. I don't think it's about the guy drowning. I think it's about him walking in on somebody banging his wife, not the story about the guy that drowned when he was a kid or something, and the guy that didn't help save him.
Oh, that is interesting. You ever see them live? You ever see Genesis? I saw Genesis at Market Square Arena. And,
yeah, I was like 12, but yeah, I was at that show.
Wasn't it with like the Cars? Somebody like that opened. Man, who opened that show?
I don't think because I would remember seeing Rick Ocasek in the Cars.
Yeah. But that show at Market Square was absolutely amazing. I just wow. I still think about that. Market Square Arena when I think about rock and roll and concerts, the Forum here in L.A., yeah, it was pretty cool. There, a lot of great shows.
They just put millions into the Pepsi Coliseum. I can't wait to see a show there because the sound there was awesome to begin with, and they just put millions and millions in it. I haven't been to it yet.
What happened?
Redecorated the whole thing.
What they
do?
They
just redid it. They gutted. They kind of gutted it out and redid it all brand new, and it's just fancy schmancy, and it's no longer Pepsi Coliseum. I don't know the new name. It just opened up this year.
Wait. You're saying Market Square Arena changed its name?
Oh no, Market Square Arena has been torn down.
It's torn down. That's what I thought.
No, I'm saying the Pepsi Coliseum at the State Fairground, which is where that's where the Beatles played.
That's where I graduated high school.
At the Pepsi Coliseum.
Yeah, at the it's Warren Central High School. We graduated at they called it the Coliseum, right there at the fairgrounds. I'm assuming they still do. I mean, there's too many students at that high school, and so you can't fit all of the students. And people that are listening to me right now don't get it. Warren Central High School is bigger than most colleges. It's insane, and so when you have, I don't even know how many kids graduate, how many seniors, but it's got to be like, 1,500 or more, maybe 2,000, I'm guessing. But then, so that's 2,000 families times 4. Now you're looking at, you need an arena to graduate the high school students. And we graduated at the Coliseum right there where the Beatles played. You're absolutely right.
Yeah, it's supposedly it's just the whole place is supposed to be gorgeous now, so I can't wait to see that. And then
when I was
we've got
there,
a lot of good venues now.
When I was there, it was bricks and hay. That's all I remember: bricks and hay, red brick and hay. Thank you so much, Michael.
You have a good evening, sir.
Man, all the best. I'm just glad that you're happy, and if I can squash all the rumors, I will be doing that probably all night. Thank you so much, man.
Right on.
Have a good night. All right, I'm going to take a quick break, and then I'll be back with all the news you need to know and taking your phone calls. This is Fade to Black. See, that's what we do here. All the new listeners, I just talk about what you want to talk about. And you can talk as long as you want. Well, sort of. Michael Anderson's got a pass card. I'll be back right after this. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. Fader Night. 323-825-5045. I'll be back right after this. Do not touch that mouse.
My name's Nick Dominguez. Hi, I'm Rex Dominguez, and I listen to JimmyChurchRadio.com. Jimmy is your preacher. Amen.
This is Toby Kebbell. You're listening to JimmyChurchRadio.com. Don't hurt me, Jimmy. I'm only little.
Hey, I'm Adrian Grenier.
And this is Ari Gold.
We're of the Honey Brothers.
Yes.
We're of the Honey Brothers. Hey, I'm Adrian Grenier.
And I'm Ari Gold.
We're the Honey Brothers.
And you're listening to Jimmy Church.
The Revolution.
KJCR.
JimmyChurchRadio.com.
Despite popular opinion, reading a book will not make you smarter.
But listening to Jimmy Church will.
All right, everybody, welcome back. Fade to Black. Yeah. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. Taking your calls all night. 323-825-5045. First-time callers. I got some Billy Meyer DVDs here in the studio. Give those away. The other day, I reported on a story 2 days ago about WikiLeaks and Snowden that mentioned Joseph Farrell. I want to make it clear that it wasn't our Joseph P. Farrell of Giza Death Star. It was a weird situation to read that coming off the wire and read that story, and then boom, there's a Joseph Farrell in the story, and you don't want to be associated with that, obviously, Julian Assange. And so that wasn't the Joseph P. Farrell. Obviously, there's another Joseph Farrell out there imitating the real Joseph P. Farrell. That's why Joseph P. Farrell has got P in his name, to separate him from all those other Joseph Farrells. So I just want to make that very clear. All right. Email from Gary. He says, love the new website look. The one thing missing from the old one, when you click Listen Live, is the webpage that shows all of the Twitter posts and pictures that are important during the show. He's referring to the old network. Could you please show the Twitter post on your page? It is really essential, and it is part of your broadcast. Thank you for considering this request. Your show is the berries. That's what it says. All right, so we will take a look at that. Thank you for the email. I think that is one of the best emails I've gotten all year. And we will take a look at that and see if we can. I know Method is listening right now. Method, let's get Twitter on jimmychurchradio.com. So when somebody is listening to the broadcast with the player, they'll be able to follow along in Twitter. I think most people do both. They have the website up on one side, Twitter up on another. I get that. I understand. But for those that can't and won't, let's put Twitter up there. I think that's really cool. Let's get to some news. Russia's ambassador to Britain was summoned to the UK's Foreign Office on Thursday to explain why 2 Russian bombers were flying over the English Channel this week. A representative from the office there, the Foreign Office, said in Britain, 2 Russian bombers caused disruption to civil aviation when they flew near, but did not cross into British airspace on Wednesday. 2 UK Royal Air Force jets intercepted the bombers, both capable of carrying nuclear weapons, south of Bournemouth, England, over the English Channel, a UK defense spokesman said today. The British jets escorted the bombers for about an hour and a half until the bombers left the area. What is up with that, man? The English Channel taunting, poking in the chest, just poking in the chest. Police answering a suspicious package call in San Francisco made an unpleasant discovery when they opened the suitcase and found that it contained human body parts. The San Francisco Medical Examiner's Office determined that the parts were human remains and the body had been dismembered. The suitcase was found Wednesday afternoon on 11th Street in the Mission District. Police closed 4 blocks while they investigated. The Los Angeles Times, meanwhile, reported that the remains were also found at 3 locations within a 3-block radius. The police have a person of interest, and images were caught on security cameras. Crazy. A new message, purportedly from ISIS, that pushed Jordan to bring convicted terrorist Sajida al-Rashid, I said that wrong last night too, Rishawi, to the Turkish border by 5:30 p.m. today, 9:30 a.m. Eastern time here in the United States. If they didn't, according to the message, Jordanian pilot Moaz al-Kasebe would be killed, following soon thereafter by Kenji Goto of Japan. Jordanian officials throughout the day said that they're willing to swap al-Rishawi for al-Kaseba. They're willing to do it. There's some backdoor negotiations going on. I'm a little confused. Government spokesman Mohammed al-Momani reiterated that much late Thursday afternoon, about an hour before the purported deadline, he said that we're ready to go. He said Jordan is not about to pull off a deal yet, having received no proof that the pilot is still alive. If Jordan gets such proof and releases al-Rishawi, It is not clear whether the Japanese hostage would also go free, or even the pilot for that matter. And I'm really confused. I don't get it. I feel like somebody's capitulating here. I understand that that's what they do over there. We don't quite deal with these situations that way here. But this weirdness that is going on, it seems like ISIS is holding all of the decision making. I just don't get it. I'm confused. And the message is coming back directly from government sources. Official heads of state are just confusing. I don't get it. Don Druniak, good friend of the show, sent this in today. It has been reported that the best ever video of a UFO has been recently captured in the skies above Argentina and Brazil. I watched the video many times today. Whoa, can you get this posted? I want everybody to see this. I'm going to get some comments on this. Matter of fact, we'll take some phone calls on this video too. Get the video posted up here. According to UFO Sightings Daily, local residents in Frias spotted a fireball at first and thought it was simply a meteor. However, experts stated that most space rocks burn up quickly when they hit the Earth's atmosphere, while this footage shows the UFO burning for over 3 minutes. The object also appears, from what I can see, it changes direction about halfway through the video. The UFO was not only spotted in Argentina and Brazil, but throughout South America. You have to check this video out. When it looks like, there it is. Here's the video. If you want to see this video, follow us on Twitter right now at JChurchRadio, hashtag F2B. That is the sandbox at JChurchRadio. Come follow us right now. The video is up. It looks and the meteors that I have seen. And, meteorite is what hits the ground. Meteor burns up, right? And it never touches the ground. I think that's the difference. Or is meteor outside of when it enters the atmosphere? Whatever. Okay, but it's a ball. This looks like a disc. It does. Look at the video. It looks like a disc. It looks like a flat disc. This thing looks like a burning, flaming, flying saucer that didn't know what it was doing when it entered the atmosphere. But it is a crazy video, and it burns and burns and burns and burns. It's 3 minutes long. You have to see it, and it looks like the thing changes directions. To me, I don't know what to make of it. I'm watching this video now. I'm going to go ahead and fire this baby up. I got to watch it again. When you see it, oh, man, don't you just hate that? Commercials in your YouTube video, like we do. Okay. Oh, no commercial. My bad. Oh, okay. Let me turn it down. Okay, so I'm watching the video, and as you see it, there isn't extreme flames. There isn't a long trail. It's a flaming disc. That's exactly what that looks like. I hope everybody's watching this right now with me in real time. What do you make of that? Now, the video itself is about 3 minutes long, and about a minute and a half in, watch what happens. You tell me if that thing doesn't change directions. Can meteors do that? Meteorites. See, did you see that? That thing turned, man. Now, keep watching when he zooms back in. Look at, what do you make of that? When the camera backs up and you can see that there's no trail, there's nothing there, that thing looks not only round, but flat. It doesn't look like a ball. And somebody explained to me, if that is a ball, why isn't the flames coming from the top and bottom instead of just the sides? That's a crazy video. I want people to call in and comment about this. 323-825-5045. Tell me what you think about this video. Could it be just that? The video itself was shot, I think, on January 4th, and it just got... You see that? That turned, and it turns right at 148. And now, look. It's going back to the left. Explain that. That thing changes directions. That is a crazy video. I don't know what to make of it. And the wreckage and everything else. But that is a nutty video. 323-825-5045. Okay. 323-825-5045. Phone lines are open. Tourists who fly to Colorado to try to deal tourists who fly to Colorado to try legal pot can forget about buying souvenir boxer shorts, socks, or sandals with a marijuana leaf on them when passing through Denver Airport. The airport has banned pot-themed souvenirs, fearing it could taint the state's image. That's right. Marijuana possession and any pot-related advertising were already forbidden in the airport. Airport executives extended the ban this month after a retailer sought a freestanding kiosk to sell boxer shorts and similar items that played off Colorado's place as the first state to allow recreational marijuana sales. Airports have a broad discretion to control concession operators, and they can limit free speech activities such as handing out brochures. The U.S. Supreme Court ruled in 1992 that airport terminals are not public forums. You remember that? You'd walk through, and the dudes in the orange would come up to you, and well, you know what I'm talking about. Siding with the Port Authority of New York and New Jersey against a religious group that wanted to distribute pamphlets. The legalization measure approved by Colorado voters in 2012 allows any property owner to prohibit possession of pot, and airports in Denver and Colorado Springs do. Violators face possible civil citations. But Denver International Airport has given no possession citations since legalization. Underwear. Oh, that is funny. University of Arizona report came out that the Earth's crust under Iceland is rebounding as global warming melts the island's great ice caps. The South Central Iceland, let me back up. In South Central Iceland, some sites are moving upward as much as 1.4 inches per year. The new paper, which is the first to show that the current fast uplift of the Icelandic crust is a result of accelerated melting of the island's glaciers and coincides with the onset of warming that began about 30 years ago. Insane. I'll be back right after this. This is Bespoke Radio for the masses. Fade to black. Tonight is Fader Night. I'm your host, Jimmy Church, 323-825-5045. That's some of the news you need to know. I got a bunch more. Phone lines are open. I'll be taking your calls when I come back. 323-825-5045. 323-825-5045.
Way out here, we listen to Jimmy Church.
You're listening to Fade to Black.
¿Qué tal, mis amigos? Yo soy Mario Carson, el tiburón, y los invito para que escuchen a mi buen amigo Jimmy Church Radio. ¡Claro que sí!
Oi, oi, I'm Reese Evans. You're listening to Jimmy Church. This is Revolution. The revolution will not be televised. The revolution is on radio. Ciao.
All right, welcome back, Fade to Black. 323-825-5045. Calls are lined up. Everybody here, area code 587. Stay right there. Space Boy is in line. Fade to Black, bespoke radio for the masses. This is Fader Night. Hi, you're live. Who's calling? Where are you calling from?
Chris Emerson. Calling from Maryland.
You're calling from Ireland?
Oh, Maryland.
Oh, Maryland. What was your name? Who's calling?
Christine Emerson.
Oh, hi, Christine. How are you? Everything good?
Hi, I'm fine. I'm loving your show. I wanted just to tell you how much I love your show. I started listening probably about 6 months ago, and I don't watch TV anymore. I love it.
It's a bad addiction, Christine. Okay.
Oh my goodness! I'm trying to turn it down.
Turn it down. Turn it down. You can do it. You can do it. There you go. Okay. All right. Do you have a question? What's going on?
I just wanted to call and let you know how much I enjoy the program and how much I'm learning. And I've been through so many strange things just weird things that happens to me in my life. And it's nice to know that there's other people out there that are going through the same things and experiencing the same type things, because nobody tells you that these things are normal,
That's exactly right. And, you need to, and I think you understand that, the Fader Night family, come hang out, and you've been doing that, but come hang out and talk and listen and know that, you're not the only one.
It's my first time to call.
Don't be nervous. It's all good.
Oh, I am very nervous. I can't believe I'm actually talking to you. It's just amazing. I listen to people calling from Canada and from just all over the place, and I just never thought you'd pick up on me.
Oh, no. I try to get all the calls in. And do me a favor. We'll send you out a Billy Meyer DVD.
Excellent.
Just send Rita your email, okay? Rita at jimmychurchradio.com. I've got your name right here, Christine, and we'll take care of it.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. That's really sweet.
Thank you.
I wanted to tell you one thing.
Sure.
I wanted to tell you one thing about something that happened to me. And I don't know if it means I experienced something from another dimension or what. But when I was about 16, I was driving my car, and my mom was sitting in the co-pilot's, part of the front seat. And I turned left, but I turned right in front of a big bus, like a metro type bus, that goes into D.C. And I didn't see that a minute ago. And as I turned, my front part of my car, all through the engine, went through the bus.
No.
They went like they meshed somehow, and they went through each other. And I remember looking at that bus driver, and her mouth was gaping open, and her eyeballs were popping out of her head. She saw it too, and we just continued driving, but we never hit. We never crumpled the bumpers. What the heck is that?
That was called somebody didn't want your insurance rates to go up. That's what that means.
My dad wasn't there.
Exactly. That's an extraordinary story.
But what would cause that? Is that got to be somehow I went through some sort of a thing? I mean, what does that?
That sounds...
And I know she saw it. My mother was freaking because she was screaming. She thought we were going to hit. And we just meshed and went on.
It sounds like...
That bus driver couldn't believe it either.
A little bit of a time warp, something strange at that very moment. You were in another dimension, and you and that bus...
I know.
Yeah, you and that bus were not meant to hit. That's an incredible story.
Isn't that bizarre?
That is bizarre.
That is so bizarre. I've never figured it out, but at least I've got hope now because I got your station.
Oh, thank you for the call, Christine, and welcome to the family.
Okay. Oh, thank you.
Have a great night.
You too. Love you.
Hi, you're live on Fade to Black. Who's calling?
Hey, how you doing, Jimmy? This is Jose. I'm a first-time caller calling from Washington State.
Right on. How are you?
I'm good. How about yourself? I'm loving the show.
Oh, thank you so much. It's a beautiful night down here. You're probably chilling a little bit up in Washington State. Where are you at up there?
I'm in Auburn. That's about 25 minutes south of Seattle.
Oh, okay, okay.
I'm going to say it's about 58 right now. Starting to get chilly. It's been sunny the last couple of days, a little bit warmer in the 70s, but I guess it's getting ready to start getting colder from now on.
Yeah,
so.
Seattle is a weird. I don't know what it is about winters up there, but you expect it to be insanely cold, and for some reason it just never quite gets there. It's not like Portland. Portland's out of control. Forget that. I mean, you freeze in Portland, and then you can drive through, which I've done. I've driven through Portland in January, brutal. Arrived in Seattle, and it's all good. It's like, wait, what's going on? It doesn't make any sense. We just drove for another day, and we're up here in the Great White North, and there's no white. It's actually nice up here right now.
Yeah, it's definitely. You're telling me. I just moved here about 4 months ago from Tampa, Florida, and I expected crazy weather, and you're right. Some days it's kind of nice and warm. You go a little bit south, it's a lot colder in Oregon. And obviously coming from Florida, which is like 90 degrees every day, almost all year round, it's definitely crazy. But, Jimmy, I just wanted to say that I'm really loving your show. I really like the setup you got going on right now. It sounds much better, and I guess you have it in stereo now.
Yes,
yes. Network. Yeah. But I wanted to say I actually never get to listen to your show live. I always listen to it on the
replay
podcast app.
Yep. Right.
Yes. And so the first time I'm able to actually listen to it live, I can call you. But I've listened to the last couple of nights. You've been, by the way, I love the James Gilliland interview.
Oh, that was great. Yeah.
Yeah, I really like it. If you actually do make it out to his ranch, I'll try and meet you guys up there if you guys do make it. But I've listened to the last couple of shows, and I believe you mentioned on yesterday's show about Bob Garrett.
The Bigfoot guy that's gone missing. What do you know about that?
Yeah, yes. Well, I listened to. I'm big into the cryptos, actually Bigfoot mostly, because I had an experience out in North California in the Redwoods about 4 years ago. Anyways, I got into it, and I've been listening to other shows and stuff, and apparently there's this guy that he's been in contact with Bob Garrett. I think you should probably interview him. His name is Wes Germer, I believe, Wes Germer, something like that. He's from Washington State as well, and he's in contact with him, and he knows everything that happened to Garrett and how I guess, for lack of a better term, the Men in Black came in and basically shut him down. It's a very interesting story, and basically Bob Garrett's not doing interviews with nobody, and he's only spoken with this one guy, with Wes Germer.
Right.
I think you should try and get in contact with this guy, Wes Germer. Not only that, but he has a very chilling Bigfoot experience himself that you should probably try and get on the show. And that was another thing I was trying to suggest. You should probably get a couple of Bigfoot shows in there, only because I'm sure there's a fan base for that as well.
Yeah. We've had Jeffrey Meldrum on the show. He's great. Bigfoot is always a subject, for us. We had Clyde Lewis on here with his sighting that we were talking about with James Gilliland that went down up at Gilliland's ranch. But back to this.
Right.
Now, so what you're saying is the rumors that have been going around about the government silencing him, that actually happened, and the reason why is because he was so outspoken about his evidence, and he wasn't afraid of the media or speaking out in public. And then suddenly the government came in and shut him down on this specific case. And
that's correct. He's very, by what I've heard, he's very upset because basically they started following him. They started following his wife to work. They started following his kid, and he was very upset. They started going into his computer system remotely. He would see his mouse basically you know how your mouse will move if it's being remotely activated from outside sources.
Sure.
And they took some videos that he had on his computer, and apparently he had a very good sighting of a Bigfoot out there in Texas. That's where he's at. And they took that video, and after he realized that they were able to do all these things, he basically was very upset and basically stopped communicating with the outside world. And this guy, Wes Germer, he knows all of this. Not only that, but he interviews people. That's what he does for Bigfoot activity. And he has several interviews with police officers that have been told to, you know, whenever they get a Sasquatch encounter or sighting that they're investigating, they get told from higher ups to back down. So it's not just Bob Garrett. It's several people that are reporting this type situation. And it's, like I said, you should probably get in contact with this guy and get him on the show, and he can probably clear some stuff up.
Yeah,
from that aspect.
Like I said, he was so defiant when it came to the police, and was so vocal that...
Right, because apparently this Bob Garrett guy, wherever, I'm not sure exactly, but apparently he's he's somebody important in his town. He's not a hobo or anything of that matter. He's somebody that he's well respected in his town. So he was very vocal because he knew everybody would listen to him and what he was doing. And then once that started happening, they shut him down. Not only that, but that video of that camp that he had, apparently there was a couple of bodies that were there. And that video that you saw, that wasn't the entire video. That was just part of it because he had to go into court just so they would allow him to present that part of the video. Basically, they were going to throw him in jail for that video. It's a big story. It's not just what we've seen. There's more to it. Well, that's why I'm asking you to probably reach out to these guys to see if you can get more of a story, because I know you would ask the right questions and maybe push harder, I guess.
What'd you think about that Bigfoot video that we posted yesterday from Florida?
That's 40 minutes from my house in Florida. I know where that is. That's in Lettuce Lake. I actually used to go hiking over there. It's a creepy place out there. It's one of those things that I'm not surprised that would be there. On the other hand, I've always thought that they were here in the Pacific Northwest myself, you know? Like I said, I experienced something over there in the Redwoods, and that's kind of what pushed me into that, you know?
Right. The video is pretty good, and it's not acting human. You know, it doesn't look like somebody that's acting like a Bigfoot. You know, there's something creepy about the video because it's so... animalistic, if that's the best way to do it.
I agree. I was looking at it. I honestly thought it almost looked like it even had a tail when it swung sideways. I don't know if it had a snake on its hand, and it looked like a flip of a tail, but it could be a snake as well.
Could be.
The one thing I will say about that place, you know, I am from there. Actually, I'm originally from Puerto Rico, but I lived there for like 15 years, and there's like 10, 12-foot gators in those waters.
Oh, yeah.
So it wouldn't be a person messing around. I mean, if it is a person, they're crazy.
Right.
Now, with that said, there's plenty of crazy people in Florida, but not in that type of water.
No, it's a swamp. It's a swamp, and you're absolutely right.
Yeah.
I've been out there. I've checked it out, hung out with the alligators, and I'll tell you what, there's
you don't get in that water.
No.
Don't do that.
I was down there, and there was this huge alligator about, we were standing on dry ground, but maybe about 10, 15 feet out into the water. Big, long, just big, 10, 15 feet,
yeah.
Big guy. And I threw an apple out into the water. And it landed right in front, about 3 feet in front of the alligator. And I watched him change direction. You know, they swim real slow. He's like floating.
Right.
And he just and he zoomed in on the apple. It was a green apple, and it's floating in the water. And he cruises up to it, and then opens his mouth and slams down on that apple in about a tenth of a second. Big splash, just. And I was like, He could bite you in half. Yeah, man. I never forgot that. Thank you, Jose, for the phone call. And if you get any updates, on Bob Garrett, let me know.
I will send you an email of a few names in case you can do something and make an arrangement on that, okay?
You got it. Have a great night. Thank you, Jose.
All right, thanks.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Hi, you're live on Fade to Black. Who's calling?
Hey, Jamie, it's Mark from Gilbert.
Hey, Mark. Long time no talk. How you been?
Oh, I've been hanging in there. Doing pretty good.
What's shaking?
Well, I wanted to kind of touch on that video a little bit, and then I wanted to kind of. I've heard you talk about your sighting before, the one you had at, what was it, in L.A.? Did you have that?
I've had 3. So the one with the ball of light that came down into Van Nuys.
Yeah,
that one. That was here in L.A.
Yeah, and then I wanted to kind of compare that to mine. I've always wondered, kind of what exactly that looked like. Well, on the video, I just kind of wanted to put out there that it was whatever it is. It's solid. It's not like it's either like a big hunk of iron that's not breaking up. And it doesn't leave a plasma trail, so the burning is actually pretty localized, so it doesn't leave. As you watch a meteor go through the sky, there's usually a debris trail that's a mile or 2 miles long,
right
behind it. And this doesn't have that, so it's whatever it is. It's very, very solid. It's not breaking up.
Right. Yeah, and it does change directions, man.
Yeah, I'm not sure about it changing directions. That usually, maybe it does. It's just that when somebody's holding a camera like that, it just looks like a camera shake, like he's having a hard time keeping it in the frame. Of course, that could be because it's turning too. So
right.
But
it turns, and I don't know if they do that. I just don't know. I've seen a couple of meteors, go through the atmosphere. Saw one a couple of years ago, and I watched it. Big, long smoke trail that stayed up in the sky forever, and it was flaming too. And I think, it's kind of weird. I think I kind of heard it. It was low. It was low right in front of us, and hit the mountains. And landed behind the mountains here in the San Fernando Valley. So.
Oh, you couldn't hit the ground.
It landed behind the mountains, but it definitely came down somewhere. Oh, 100%. Okay. It came down. So, what else is going on? Everything good?
Well, yeah, everything's fine. Everything's just fine. I'm learning more and more on the banjo, and having fun with it. So.
Thank you so much, Mark, man. And again, you've been with us since the beginning. All the best, man.
All right, man.
Thank you so much.
Take it easy.
Good night. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black. Who's calling?
Hi, neighbor. This is K28.
This is who?
K28.
Oh, K28. What's up?
Yeah. First-time caller.
Yes, you are. You don't count as a first-time caller. Everything good?
Everything's great. I'm on the 405. I'm in Long Beach, part of my long commute home.
And listening to Fade to Black in the car. How cool is that?
I listen to you 9 hours a day of podcast.
All right. So any questions, any comments tonight, K? Everybody, it's K28 live.
I've been sending so many tweets, I probably overdid the system.
Yeah, no doubt about it. No, how's the audio? How's the audio in your car?
It's great. Sounds good. I'm using my Galaxy S3, and it's going through Bluetooth, and it's doing fine on that.
Yeah, I know you're doing Bluetooth in your car stereo, and so coming back into the studio here, it's kind of thin and loud. It's real loud.
I'm talking to the roof of the car.
Yeah, don't worry about it, Kay. All right, man. Yeah. Happy navigating that 405. The one thing, anybody else in the United States, you think you have traffic, you think you know what it's about, you haven't done anything until you've experienced the 405. And everybody that lives here in Southern California hates, and hate's a bad word, the 405. So I'm sorry you're on it, my brother, but you got to do it to get home.
Especially the Poveda Pass.
Yeah, that's the worst, man. It's the worst. You know, and I know where you live. Well, I know generally where you live. And there's only one way to go between Long Beach and up here, and that's the 405. You don't have a choice. All right, Kay, enjoy your drive, man, and all the best. And if I don't talk to you, you have a great weekend.
Tomorrow's my birthday.
Happy birthday, K28. Everybody in Twitter, happy birthday to K28. I want to see Twitter light up right now. Happy birthday, brother. I'd sing, but I'd blow up your speakers.
Thank you.
All right, man. I got Space Boy up next. Thanks, Kay.
You're welcome.
Hey, Space Boy, turn down the stereo.
It's down. It's down.
How are you, brother?
Well, I'm doing pretty good, my friend. I felt like I haven't talked to you in ages.
No, you haven't, actually. Is all good in Tejas?
Everything's wonderful in the big state of Texas, as it should be. When you've got the Space Boy heading out here, and then you've got Marilyn, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention her because she is the Yellow Rose of Texas.
Yes, she is.
And I believe even Lori Brooks is a Texan.
Yes, she is.
Chime in.
Yes, she
is.
is.
I'm in good company down here, and then plus I can't not mention Sherilyn. So I'd be shot if by the time I got off this phone call.
Right. Right. I think if I knew Lori's, I've got so many calls lined up in front of me. If I knew her area code, I'd pick it up. I bump you, Space Boy, for Lori Brooks.
Oh, really?
Yeah. How's that feel?
But well, I don't know how to say.
Oh, man.
It's kind of like Jimmy. The whole reason why. Well, I have other ulterior meaning of why I'm calling, but. Usually I kind of hang back every night and not really call because you've got all these wonderful new listeners and they're calling in, and it's great to hear all these people call in and discover your show. So I'm kind of always just kind of there in the outskirts, but I'm definitely in the tweet universe and doing my thing out there. So, but that's why I don't usually call. I kind of wait like, okay, it's been a month. Let me call Jimmy C. Let him know that I'm okay. And so I wanted to call and let you know, and I'm sure you already know, but I've been involved with Truth Funders.
Oh, yeah, that's right. That's right. I meant to mention that tonight. Yeah, go ahead. Tell us about it.
Well, basically, I'm a big supporter of the Fade to Black show, as you know. I call you the big boss because you are. You play my music at the beginning of the show, and I have a tremendous amount of love for you. So I thought, well, Truth Funders, it sounds like a great organization. I checked into it. I really liked what I saw. I saw Jonas has this thing out there where he's promoting his book. And I thought, well, what can I do to help Jimmy out and promote Truth Funders, to show the love we have for your show, and then kind of translate it to Truth Funders. So I got it with Mark and over at Truth Funders, and we were kind of spitballing some ideas back and forth, and we came up with the idea of doing a song that's exclusive for Truth Funders. So what we did was we set up an account and created a thing where if you donate, you will get this exclusive song that I'm writing right now called Dragonfly. Mm-hmm. And plus, if depending on the level of commitment, you can get all this fabulous Space Boy music that goes along with it. So far, within 24 hours, we're doing pretty good with this, and I can't say enough about the site. I mean, it's a great site in the sense that Mark and I have talked about the Time Life books and what inspired him and what got him involved into this, and I just when I believe in a cause, this is a good cause to believe in, where people can, let's say you want to start a ghost hunting expedition. Well, you can put it up there, get it funded, crowdsource it, and it's just an easy way to do it. So I'm wrapped up in this, and it's great, Jimmy. You got a great sponsor for the program, and I can't say enough about True Funders.
Yeah, thank you so much for that, Space Boy. And everybody, go over to Truth Funders, truthfunders.com. The links are right there at jimmychurchradio.com. Head over, check out Space Boy, help the project, help Truth Funders, and enjoy some amazing music. Space Boy is very unique out there in the world of music. And what he does... he may support us, but it goes right back. I will support everything about Space Boy, and it's just been a great relationship. So truthfunders.com, check it out. Do what you can, help the cause, and the paranormal fringe, ufology, that paranormal ghost hunting thing that we're all about. It's a small community. And truthfunders.com is the one place where you can go and hang out, just like this show, just like faders.org. It's a small world out there. And we only, our best supporters are ourselves, and that's it. So get over to Truth Funders, check out Space Boy, and do what you can. I'd really appreciate it. Thank you so much, Space Boy, for reminding me that I actually had that down to talk about at the intro of the show. And it's the same thing happens, man. It's Michael Anderson from Naptown, and he just blows my flow, man, every single time.
Every single time. That Michael, I swear.
Thank you so much, brother. You have a great night, and give my best to your better half.
And ditto. I'll catch you next time.
I'll talk to you. Thank you, Space Boy.
Bye-bye.
All right. That opens up the phone lines. I'm going to take a quick break. Let's do this. Boom. I'll be back taking your calls. 323-825-5045. 575 is calling in. 972. There we go. Stay right there. I'll catch you when I come back.
Hi everybody, this is Rob Halford, the Metal Guard on JimmyChurchRadio.com.
What's up? My name's Brian Taylor, Ninja Badass Extraordinaire, and this is JimmyChurchRadio.com.
JJCR in your face.
JimmyChurchRadio.com.
Faded Black. Bespoke radio for the masses. Tonight's Fader Nights. Open lines all night, 323-825-5045, 323-825-5045. And one of the things I'd like to talk about tonight, too, have you had a UFO sighting? It's one of my favorite things to talk about. If you have had a sighting, call in tonight and tell me about it, 323-825-5045. You can also Skype in. Fade to Black 14. You can search it. You can find it. Fade to Black and the number 14. First-time callers always get a gift from the junk drawer. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black. Who's calling?
Hi, Jimmy. It's Carola. I'm not a first-time caller, though.
No, you are not. How are you?
I'm good. I wish I was a first-time caller because I've always been interested in Billy Meyer, and you're giving away DVDs and everything. You gave them all away, didn't you?
Yeah, now you're making me feel bad. No,
don't feel bad.
Okay.
It'll come.
Well,
it'll come to me.
If I break the rules, then I got to break them with everybody, and then But first-time callers always get a little something. You know what I mean?
I know.
Okay. So what's going on tonight up in the Great White North?
Well, Jimmy, I was just thinking because about a year ago, I did see a big UFO, and it was about a year ago.
Up in Canada?
I've been thinking, yes, up in Canada.
And what did you see?
Well, okay, I was at this Okotoks. That's where I live, usually. It's called Okotoks. That's a native name for Big Rock. And there's this big rock there. And on Sunday afternoons, I would listen to a meditation. It's Intelligent Infinity. We do a group intention for healing the planet and people and stuff like that. So I'm in this, it's about a 2-hour conference call. And I'm out there, I'm by myself, just sitting beside the little highway there. And I'm looking, it's a hazy day, I'm looking towards the mountains, and it's about 50 miles till the first mountain, and it was sort of hazy, but fairly clear. And all of a sudden I noticed this one cloud. It wasn't really hazy, it was more silvery, you know? And so I was looking, thinking, that's a weird color for a cloud. So I was just looking at it and still focusing on this group world healing meditation. And all of a sudden, out of this cloud drifts this huge triangular shape. And it was white, so it kind of tried to blend in with the sky.
Wow, that's interesting.
But I'm telling you, it was huge. And I thought, I don't.
Well, how long? Carol, real quick. Let's. How big was it? Did it make any noise? How long did it last?
Well, it only lasted about under a minute.
And where'd it go?
It floated out of the cloud. It floated out of the cloud. It went north across this field. It went across the big rock. And then all of a sudden it just went and blipped right out. I don't know where it went.
Wow. And it was blending in with the cloud. It was masking itself. It was hiding in the cloud. That is an interesting. You know, with all of the triangles, that's the first white triangle I've ever heard.
No, it was a rectangle, Jimmy.
Oh, it was a rectangle.
It was huge.
I thought you said triangle. It was a rectangle?
No. Yeah, and it was about probably 100 feet high and about 300 feet long.
Wow.
It was huge. It floated right over in front of my van and across that field, and then it blipped out.
And what do you think it was?
It was a UFO, Jimmy. And, you know, I've always thought they might be true, but now I know it's true. I don't care what anybody says.
Exactly.
I know what I saw. It didn't make any noise. Hey, how you doing?
Hey, hold on. You're live. Hang on. Okay. Sorry about that, Carol. I've got calls lined up here.
Okay. It was the daytime anyways. That's all I wanted to say. And congratulations on your new spot.
Thank you so much, Carol. And you've been with us since the very beginning. Thank you so much. Give my best to the Big T, okay?
I will. I will. Thank you.
Thank you, Carol. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black. Who's calling? Now you're live. Hello? Hello, you are live. 3, 2, 1. Somebody put the phone down and walked away. I already know what's going on. What should I do, everybody? Should I just, I don't want to be rude. I'm going to go 3, 2, 1. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black. Who's calling?
Hey, this is Josh.
Hey, Josh, what's shaking?
Hey, man. Not much. You talking about UFOs and such. Listen to the show. I got a kind of a story I'll share with you.
Go. Let's hear it.
All right. Excuse me, out in West Texas in about 1978. Had come home from school. I had football practice, got home. I cleaned up. It's Friday night. My mom gives me a ride. I'm in like 8th grade. And, excuse me, a ride to to the mall, and as we're going, it's kind of dark, you know, and we lived outside of town, and as we're driving down the road, we see this light in the sky, this silver kind of light, and out where they had helicopters that they've had a couple of crashes on helicopters where they hit the power lines,
and
they had some crashes out there. So she was saying that's a UFO. I said, no, I think it's a helicopter, you know. And anyway, it kind of hovered in and it flew in and it got over the top of us. And she's going, you know, my mom's flipping out saying, it's a UFO, it's a UFO. And I'm like, no, I don't think so. It's a helicopter. And so I rolled the windows down and I got out, you know, to sit down at the window and was trying to listen for chopper blades.
Right.
And there was no chopper blades whatsoever. All I could hear was the gravel under the tires. And so it kind of slipped me out. So I got back in the car. And, you know, I'm like, I'm not sure what that is. And so she's sitting there saying, it's UFO, it's UFO. And I'm like, and about that time, it just went, and it just took off. And it went to where we first saw it instantly. And then we're just going, did you see that? Did you see that? And just mind-blowing. And then we watched it for a little bit, and then it just zigzagged back out into space. So so she was taking me to the movies, right? And it was like, I don't know, about 7 o'clock, something like that. We get up to there was a mall, and she drops me off. And when I get out, I see the kids. I think we're going in to see the movies, and the movies were over with.
No, really?
Yeah, and the movies are over with. And so, you know, it's just real shocking. It was like, what? You know, it's like, so back then, you know, for 78, I had to, you know, walk to a payphone and call and say, hey, you know, wait for her to get home and say, you need to come back and get me. And so she came back and got me, and it's just, you know, I feel like the movie was over when I got there. So, you know, we didn't really say much after that, you know, and so every once in a while, you know, something will come up about a UFO story or something like that, you know, and I'm over at her house, something like that, and we'll every once in a while talk about that. You know, it was just so wild. It was like, yeah, I've never seen anything like that in my life, and it was just unreal. And out in that area in West Texas, there was always, we used to lay on a trampoline and just look, and there was always stuff flying over. You know, sometimes you see like, you know, it's like a satellite, and you know, there's other times it's just like, what was that?
Yeah, right,
and,
right.
It's just unreal. And
well, what did Josh, what did your mom say about the missing time?
Well, she didn't really say much about it. She didn't know why. You know, I was just like, I mean, you know, this was in 1978, and that was kind of the weird thing was we talked about it since, and it's like, you know, that when I got there, the movies were over with, you know, and that's about, because it was probably about 20-minute drive from the house to the mall where we went and watched the movies, you know, and just nothing really, you know, just can't.
Well, you know, and now you know. You know, we're not alone.
Yeah.
You know, there's strange stuff. Yeah, exactly. There is strange stuff going on out there all the time. Hey, Josh, thank you for the call. Email first-time callers always get a little something. Email Rita at jimmychurchradio.com. We'll get you something out there.
All right.
You have
Thank you.
Have a good night, brother.
Bye-bye.
Jimmy.
Hi, you're live on Fade to Black. Who's calling?
Okay, Lori Brooks.
Hey, everybody. Lori made it in. How are you, Lori?
Oh, my gosh. I have been trying, and I've got, I guess, the number wrong like 14 times so far, so I'm glad I got through.
I've got so many calls lined up here, and I was watching yours come in and out a couple of times. Everybody else is on hold.
Yeah.
And I thought, you know what? I bet that's Lori.
I was like, dude, I'm not going to stop trying. I'm getting either the number wrong, I'm getting something wrong, but I'm glad I got through. But I do have a question for you.
Yeah, what's up, Lori?
Okay, what I want to know is what are your thoughts on life on Mars? Do you think that it exists? Did it ever exist? Were there any planetary constructions? I want to know what your thoughts are on Mars and life on Mars. Go.
Okay, I'll tell you. You're going to hang? You're going to take your answer on the air or off the air? You going to stay with me?
No, I want it right here, honey.
You want to hear it now?
Yeah.
You ready?
Yeah.
Okay, let's go. This is my thought. The way that Mars sits right now, it appears to me that it's an older version of Earth. It's pretty close to Earth, pretty close to the sun. If it had some atmosphere there, then you could start, or more of an atmosphere, I should say. It can control certain temperature fluctuations and of course, rain and everything else. I think a long time ago, it was just like us over here. So just maybe, this is what I think. I think we were there. That's what my gut says. And something bad happened, and they had to split.
Right.
That's what I think. I think they had to split, and they came here a long time ago. And today...
Okay, well, that goes into another question then. Do you think, were they us in the future? Were they different beings? Who were they? What do you think about, who were they on that planet? If it was destroyed, who lived there?
Right.
What are your thoughts on, are they us in the future, or is it, what is it? What are your thoughts on that?
Well, that's a great question. And I'll throw this back at you. This is my answer. We can't stay here forever. Eventually, the sun is going to get too hot. It's going to get too cold. It's going to fluctuate. It's going to go through its changes, and it's and where we are at right now is both. It's going to get frozen solid and then burn up into nothing and dissolve. Okay, and that's it. That's what's going to happen. So we know we can't stay here. So what are we going to do? We're going to split.
Okay.
We're going to
split. Well, did something happen to that planet? Did they live there? We lived there. Did whoever it was live there? It got destroyed like we're destroying our planet. And so this is our destiny, what they did?
It could be a variety of things. Maybe the atmosphere changed and they just couldn't live on the surface anymore. What if we had no atmosphere here? What if something radically changed? And suddenly the sun's rays were coming in and all of those X-rays and just would be bombarding us. Where would we have to go? We'd have to go underground.
Well, I think that's I actually think that's a real good fear that we should have right now.
That's right. And that's exactly my point. So maybe, 500 or 1,000 years from now, maybe 100 years from now, we'll have the technology to just jump on a starship and head on out. But certainly...
But you know what, Jimmy? I don't think we have 1,000 years to wait on that, to be honest with you.
I know. That's
I really
what
don't. I think stuff is going to happen before that.
Exactly.
I don't know what, but something.
And so that's why I threw that back out at you.
Or it's interplanetary, or it's global warming, but it's going to be a big change is what I'm saying. There's going to be a big change. Whatever it is, it's going to be a big change. But my curiosity still lies with the artifacts on Mars that they keep showing, the pictures and stuff. I'm like, okay, so why aren't they telling us? What are they afraid of? And why don't they tell the American people, or not American people, globally? Why don't they tell the people, what they have found on Mars?
Right. And look, if we get the manned expedition going to Mars, and it looks like we're really, really close, and hopefully in our lifetime, maybe in 5 years and 10 years, we'll actually get that completed, and then we'll have an actual human being there. Are they going to
Okay,
admit to what
that's
they're?
where we differ. Then that's where we differ, because I think if we are saying it and thinking about it, they've already done it.
Yeah,
as far as I'm concerned.
you're right
You know
about
what I mean?
that. You're right about that.
They probably already have done that. We're thinking it. They've already done it like 10 years ago, probably.
So, can you cook?
Can I cook? Heck yeah, I'm a Texas woman.
That's
Heck
what
yeah,
I'm
we
saying.
all cook.
I'm
Hell,
listening.
I can throw down, Jimmy. You know that.
Hey, Lori,
Hell.
you have a great night and be safe out there in Texas.
All right, you too. Nice talking to you, Jimmy. Great show, and I love you, and keep it going. And I'm with you on this new venture, and I love you, and great prosperity. And I just wish you the best, and I'm going to be phoning you, brother.
Thank you so much, man. Lori Brooks, everybody. Lori Brooks. Thank you, Lori.
All right, honey. Bye-bye.
I'll talk to you. Bye-bye. Wow, what an accent. I know Lori can cook. That's all I got to say. That's all I'm saying. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black. Who's calling?
Everybody, Lori.
Oh, okay, you got to turn me down. Turn me down.
Okay.
Who's calling?
What an accent. Easy Rider.
Hey, what's up, man? You got to turn me down, though.
Gotcha.
Yeah, we can't do that. Okay, what's up, man?
I just want to talk to Jimmy. I've been listening to the show for a year.
And?
Yeah, I want to talk about a UFO experience I had once.
Where at?
Southern Illinois.
Southern Illinois? Really?
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Yeah.
Down near St. Louis or more south than that?
Actually, I'm kind of north of St. Louis, south of St. Louis, about an hour and a half.
Okay, I got you. I've been down there a lot. My favorite part of the country, actually.
I love it.
Yeah, it's the best. It's the best. That whole area, man, it doesn't matter. Missouri, Mississippi, Southern Illinois, Kansas, all of that right there, man. Indiana, go down to, of course, Memphis. That whole area is where it's at, man, for me. But okay, we could talk about that all night, man. It's my favorite place. All right, so Southern Illinois. I was born in Chicago, so everybody knows my feelings there. What'd you see, and when was it?
When I guess this was about 1974, but this was actually in western Kentucky, about 100 miles south of here. And my aunt was driving a car. We was on a rural, kind of lonely road. And she was looking up at the stars, and she said, "Look at that." We all couldn't see what she was talking about. So she pulled over the car, and we got out. And there were three that looked like stars, but they were about 2 to 3 times brighter than stars. And the two outer stars were circling the center star. And they went in a clockwise position about 2 to 3 times around it. And then they stopped, and they went the other way, 2 to 3 times around it. And when it was all over, they went into the middle star, and once they all hit together, it just shot off up into the atmosphere.
It went straight up? Straight up?
Straight up. It was like a bright, bright light. It was the craziest thing I've ever seen in my life. But I guess I was about 15. I just kind of filed that away.
Right.
And, I just one of those things you can't explain, But I've always been kind of a right brain kind of person until about, 2 to 3 years ago. And then, seeing everything in the news, 9/11, Iraq, after a while you just get to realize that, a lot of things that you've listened to in your life, are history, science, everything that's been taught to you is really just someone's opinion.
That's right, man.
And I had a friend said, "Man, you need to listen to Art Bell." And
Right.
This is when Art Bell came back on. And I listened to a couple of those programs, and it just blew my mind.
Right.
And then he left, and you came on, and I started listening to you. So I just I enjoy your program, and love listening to it, and I hope you get a lot more viewers. And I really like it.
Well, let me ask you, because I've seen two things that went into the atmosphere, and check that, 3 actually. And when you see something like that happen in front of you, because you don't realize space and the atmosphere, it's not that far up. Okay, it's
well,
not.
You know, the thing about it now, honestly, when I was looking at that, and even now, when you look up in the sky like that, I couldn't tell you how big those things were. That could have been 1,000 miles. I know it was up in the outer atmosphere, or in you know, way up there where the satellites are, at least that far. But it could have been, you know, thousands of miles out further. I mean, you just have no reference point.
No, you don't.
But, you know, it's just, I know, like, especially in 1974, satellites couldn't do that.
Right.
And airplanes do that. So, you know, it's just, there's no explaining it.
Yeah, and the first time I saw something just go straight up and disappear, and you know, just continue going and disappear, it freaked me out, because when I first saw it, just like you, when I first saw it, it's still here. You know, you could see it with your own eyes. And then to have it just go and just straight up and it's gone right in front of you, then you start to realize that the atmosphere is not that high. It's not that far. It's not 1,000,000 miles is what I'm saying.
Right.
It's right there, right in front of you. Well, you know, we don't have airplanes that just go, you know, and just point straight up and disappear. That doesn't happen. We know helicopters. Helicopters don't do that. Rockets do, but you're going to see it launch, and you're going to see the flames, and you're going to say to yourself, okay, we're launching a rocket, we're attacking the Russians, we're doing whatever, but that's a missile, and I know what it is.
Very what?
right, exactly. But when you see something that's already up there, stop and do whatever it's doing, and then shoot straight up into the atmosphere, that is confusing to your brain.
I know, it puts on you, that's for sure.
Yeah, because you don't know. You don't know.
The funny thing about it is how I filed it away. I never really, you know, said this is a UFO until years later, and then I thought back at that, and I'm like, man, that was strange.
Yeah, right.
It's just, it's unexplainable.
Well, I've told this story. I've told this one story many times. There's videos out about this, but I'll just say this. I'll give you the abridged version of it. I was out in a parking lot here in the San Fernando Valley, and this thing is spinning up in front of us, and it's way up. It's a cloudless sky. It's in the middle of the afternoon. It's bright blue. And this thing is moving across, and it's spinning. I'll forget the details. It's too long of a story. But I was out there with about 4 or 5 people, and we're all looking at it for about 20 minutes. And then it stopped moving across the sky and sat there and spun and spun and spun very consistently, and then changed directions and went straight up. And it took a few minutes. We could see it, and then it was just then it was a little teeny tiny. When I say dot, like not the head of a pin, the pointy end of a pin. Okay, I mean it was just, and then it was gone, and it was fascinating. We don't know. You know, could it have been a satellite that just for some reason was really low in the atmosphere, and it was being able to. We were able to control its direction, and it had, you know, some kind of little rocket engines on it or something, and it flew up. It could have been. I don't know if we can have that. If we have that type of technology, it's possible. But no matter what it was, I know what I saw. That's all that I'm saying. I just know what I saw. I can't describe it. I can't identify it. I just know what I saw. And that's all I can say.
I mean, a lot of people have a lot of experiences, and you know, it's like you're conditioned from when you're young, and you see things in a certain way, you know. And until someone comes along and stretches your mind a little bit, you never really see outside that box. But once your mind is stretched, you never see things quite the same way, and you become a little open-minded, and you know, you search for different answers because, honestly. A UFO explanation is just as good as the stuff they teach you in school.
Yeah, that's right. You know,
I mean, it's just really someone's opinion, and something's going on, man. That's all there is to it. That's
you know, it's funny, Easy. One of the things I talk about on this show a lot is something that really needs to be driven home. And if you walk away from this show at any point, if you leave with one thing, this is what I want you to realize, is when you look at something like everything that is in textbooks about Egypt, and somebody's going to write me an email, Jimmy, you're wrong about this. There's more. No, listen to me. All the basics of Egypt are a couple of explorers' opinions from England that are 100, 150 years old. They were written as gospel. Yeah. And so that's it. You know, and these weird opinions about different things. I just pulled Giza out as Egypt out as an example, but it's like that everywhere. And I don't know if it's laziness, if it's fear, or if
it's unbelievable. Because it just takes one person that had an opinion, and a lot of people respected him at that time. Let's say some Egyptologist in the 1800s,
right?
You know, and he developed his opinion, and everybody jumped onto this bandwagon. And the next thing you know, that's the way it is, and that's the way
it's fact.
In the book.
Now, now it's fact. Now it's been written, and that's what we're going to teach.
And it just isn't really that way. I mean, everything you look at in science, like the way the eye works, the way the human brain works. I mean, I think it was the human eye. This guy back in, I think in the 1900s, early 1900s, you know, determined the way the human eye worked, and he had experiments and everything, and no one was able to replicate his experiments ever. So all this stuff in our textbook is completely wrong, because this guy more than likely, you know, was just putting this out there. You know, I don't know, maybe he needed funding for his, you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So a lot of us that we believe is just not fact. We just believe it because that's what's taught in our school books everywhere, you know, and then, you know, you live your life and you experience things and you're like, well, man, maybe that's not the way it really is. you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. What do you do? Let me ask you this, Easy. When you watch the news, I don't
watch. I don't watch the mainstream media. I get all my media off alternative news, because I just realized like 95% of the news is spin and someone's opinion.
Yep.
You know, so.
Well, where do you go for your news?
BBC, you know, just bulletin boards. So I just try to look at that, because I know that everything that you're hearing pretty much is just, you know, basically someone trying to spin your wheels.
Yeah, I did
the world we're living in.
I did an interview earlier today. Well, forget what it was about, but it was an interview. And in the interview, one of the things, because that question was asked of me, and I said, and I was pretty cocky about it, but one of the things that I talk about on this show a lot is, if you are watching mainstream media, whatever it is, and I get it if you do. I get it. It's okay. You can't help it. But if you do,
our system, you know,
I
think people are breaking out of that.
Take whatever you're listening, flip it over backwards, and then take another look at it. Because and what I said in the interview today, again, it was a little bit cocky, but I want this point to be driven home, which is, if the mainstream media is talking about oranges, whatever it is about oranges are good for you. That's what they're saying, right? Well, take that story, flip it over, because they're not good for you, you know? And now, and I'm just saying, that's what they want you to. So if that's what they want you to believe, take a look at whatever it is, because the opposite is what you really need to know.
And then you got to look at who's driving the story.
Right.
You know, who's driving it? What is their deal? What do they want out of it? And they always say follow the money. And if you can get into it enough, you know, if it isn't hidden deep enough, you'll find it. You'll find the reason why they're pushing that point of view.
Yeah.
And it's 99%. You know, has to do with money.
You know, when there's a fact out there. I could be wrong. Okay, I could be wrong on this, but sure. I think it's right, which is this. The Rothschild family, you know, bought Reuters. And when they bought Reuters, the family, when they bought Reuters turned around and acquired AP. Now, that's a scary moment in history if you stop and analyze that.
Throw antitrust out the window.
Right, because we used to have UPI, United Press International. We don't have that anymore. We had AP, we had Reuters, 3 independent news sources that were feeding all of the news wires around the world. Everybody picked up their news sources from that and the stories and the breaking news. We get that, and it's the way it happens today. But when UPI went bye-bye and Reuters acquires AP, now you really have only one, Reuters feeding all of the media outlets, all of the newspapers, all of the local television stations, all of this, So when you hear a breaking story, whatever it is, and you hear a story.
Oh, it's strange, isn't it?
Yeah, jump on CNN, go to Fox,
like
go
word for word, man.
Word for word.
I don't care what.
And it's just like, where's the independence at? Where's the independence? Where's the?
Well, I've heard it said that six corporations own like 95% of the media.
Yeah.
6 corporations. You think about that.
Yeah.
That small, and like back in the 60s, there was literally hundreds of different news organizations.
That's right.
And it's like that corporation is going to get its point of view. That's all there is to it.
There was something to, back in the day, that's why I report every single day. I've got a couple news stories here about journalists today that I didn't get to, but I report on it all the time. There used to be something to being a journalist and an investigative journalist and going out there and you wanted to. It was a total honor. Yep. You got your press card and you're going to go out there and you're going to change the world, man. You're going to beat the sidewalks down. You're going to uncover corruption in your city, your town. You're going to turn things over. You're just going to kick over desk and you're going to flame and that's
exactly
what you wanted to do. Now,
exactly.
Now you're taking the feed off of the internet somewhere and you're cutting and pasting and you're calling it your own, and that's your hard work for the day. Because when I go and read a newspaper article or a website and I see somebody's byline there, I see their name, and I can look at what's written, and I can go to another website and read the exact same thing written by another a reporter, and then go over to another mainstream site. It doesn't matter what it is, and you're reading the exact same copy. It bothers me. It bothers, and nobody cares if it's true or not. Nobody researches. Nobody's talking and looking and making phone calls and trying to vet the story and make sure it's right and correct. It doesn't work that way anymore. It just doesn't.
Too, like, you look at our political situation. We got Democrats and Republicans, okay? And why do our conversations have to be confined within that paradigm? I mean, there are other answers out there. But everything is looked at through what do they believe in, what do they believe in. It's just so narrow. It's like we can't get outside of that box. There's other solutions. There's not just a Democrat solution and a Republican solution. There's people. It's a wonderful country. We got thousands of people out here with great minds, but we can't get outside of that paradigm. And hopefully with the internet and shows like yours, we can get people to start thinking.
One at a time. Yeah, I totally agree.
Yeah, I mean, we're so stuck into this small little box, and we just can't seem to get outside of it. And I really commend you on your network and your show. I listen to it, and can't say I always agree with you or your guests, but I'll listen to it anyway because it's important to have an open mind. Because one thing a person should always realize, in my mind, is that you're always operating from incomplete knowledge. And if you keep that in mind, you can at least listen to somebody. Well, I mean, that's the least you can do. Whatever their view is, you can listen to them.
Well,
you might not agree with it.
No, you can't. If you agree, change the station. If you agree with everything that is going, you know why Howard Stern was so great? You know why he was so great?
It's a shocker.
You know why he was so great? Because nobody agreed with him. That's why. And you were listening to see where he was going to go next. And that is what makes things interesting. I want you to look. Honestly, I swear, if I if this audience of ours here, if I was speaking to everybody that agreed with me, I'm not doing my job. It doesn't work that way. It doesn't. I need to speak to the people that don't agree with me. Do you understand what I'm saying? And that's how change is made. And trust me.
In other words, preaching to the choir. Why?
Yeah. It's boring. And I know we have this family out here that listens to this show every single day. And I know, I can tell you right now, most don't agree with what I'm saying, but I make them think. That's it. Make you think. Keep your ears open. And if this show was over, and some of these great friends that I'm serious, friends that listen, and they hang up and they're like, man, church really, oh man, tonight he was wrong. Well, you know what? Then I did my job.
You scared me the other night. I turned on Dark Matter and you wasn't there, and I was like, oh man. I was like, where'd Jimmy go?
Oh man, well, well, you chased this down,
Jimmy.
What's that?
Are you going to go to the UFO Congress?
I'm going to try to. Like I was telling Maureen and Jason the other night. I mean, it's a great event. Leading up to that event, we have so many other things that are going on out there. And I have another convention that I'm going to, which is the Conscious Life Expo. And if anybody's going to be in LA, come out to LAX and hang out with us. That's a great event. And then the weekend after that is the Congress. And so that means I'm going to work literally like 21 days in a row. And it's
busy, right?
But I got, first off, I love Phoenix. I love the facility that they do it at up in North Phoenix, and I've got great friends out there, and I just love Phoenix. I love Phoenix, and I would love to make it out there. But if
I'll
I can't,
tell you what, I'm gonna.
Are you going to be there?
Friday and Saturday, so. And I'm going to represent for the FADERNIGHT because I'm going to give me a black shirt and put some, have my daughter, she does embroidery, and put FADERNIGHT on the back of it. So.
Hey, send me a picture.
All right. Yeah, me and my wife are going to represent for the FADERNIGHT.
Oh, man, send me a picture. We'll put it up on the website, and I'll tweet that out, and I would love to see it. And I'm not kidding about that. I am not kidding at all.
I love and you keep on doing what you're doing, man. You're to me, you're providing a great service, and we need more people out there like you.
I appreciate it, Easy. Hey, what do you drive? What do you ride?
Oh, I drive old car.
What do you got?
I'm saving money.
Oh, okay.
When I pull in a parking lot, man, I don't want to worry about someone knocking in.
You got that excuse. Okay, all right. I hear you. I hear you way loud and clear. All right, Easy. Hey, man, have a great weekend, and send, all first-time callers get a little something. Send an email over to Rita. You know how to do it. Get it done, and we'll put something in the mail for you. We'll grab
Rita
something.
at jimmychurchradio.com.
That's right. Okay.
Right.
Thank you, Easy.
Take care. Keep on keeping on.
Thank you, brother. Have a great weekend. We'll see you on Monday. Bye-bye.
All right. Bye.
All right, Fade to Black. Wow, I blew through everything. Oh, we've got 1, 2, 3 more calls coming in. I wanted to take a break. Should I take a break? I'm going to take a break. Everybody that's here, just stay on hold. Don't go anywhere. I'll be back right after this. Fade to Black. Bespoke Radio for the Masses. Tonight is FADERNIGHT. 323-825-5045. 323-825-5045. You can also Skype in Fade to Black 14. Email Jimmy at jimmychurchradio.com. Bespoke Radio for the Masses. I'll be back right after this. Stay with us.
Despite popular opinion, reading a book will not make you smarter.
But listening to Jimmy Church will.
He's always giving it to you straight.
JimmyChurchRadio.com.
Erica, Brittany, Gabby, and you're listening to JimmyChurchRadio.com.
This is KJCR at JimmyChurchRadio.com.
Welcome back. Fade to Black, bespoke radio for the masses. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. Tonight is Fader Nights. 323-825-5045. 323-825-5045. Hi, you're live from Fade to Black. Who's calling?
Hi, Jimmy. It's Lisa.
Hey, Lisa. How you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you?
You know what? It's Fader Night, and I just got to say, it is my favorite night of the week. That's it.
Oh, me too. Gets me through the weekend until Monday.
I got to tell you, one of the things, me growing up, going to parties, hanging out, and being the loudest guy in the room and talking way too much and not letting other people talk. It's I'm doing it on this show, and it's Fader Night, and you guys should be doing all the talking. I just love to hang out and talk to every one of you. I just love it. I love it.
I think you're doing a great job. I really do. You're not talking too much. You're facilitating. People to call in to help them tell their story.
Now tell me yours.
Tell you mine. I wish I had a good one. I don't have a lot of UFO stories. I don't see that many. Oh, I see some strange things, but I mostly hear strange things that other people don't seem to hear. That's kind of my deal.
Like what? What are you saying?
Well, I would say it's not like EVPs. I can hear voices speaking, and I can get them on tape. But I can hear them as well as get them on tape. It's not like I don't hear them at the time. So
okay,
I've yet to figure out if it's. Yeah, I know it's weird. I've yet to figure out if it's spirits or of somebody who's passed or some other dimensional being, or I don't know what. I've yet to figure out what they are.
Are they speaking, or is it noise?
Oh, they speak in complete sentences.
No way.
I one time, yes. I think some of them are spirits and some of them aren't. One time I was in my room on my computer, and one of them, I heard this little male child's voice, and he said, "You watch too much television."
Shut up.
And I didn't have the TV on. I had my computer on. So I was like,
Shut
okay.
Shut up. Are you kidding me?
I'm not kidding.
So the little child, well, hold on a minute. We got to stop and analyze this. We'll get to the next conversation in a second. So what you're saying is the little boy said that you were watching too much TV, but it wasn't TV, It was a computer. So he was from a period before computers, and all he could identify with was that you were staring at your screen and spending way too much time in a chat room or this show, whatever, and he was saying what he was told when he was a kid. You watch too much TV, and that is kind of creepy. That's kind of scary.
It was. It sounded like he was right next to me.
Wow.
So it was kind of startling.
And you were able to record it.
Well, I didn't record it that time, but I've made a number of recordings over a number of years. This has gone on for years.
Wow, this is nuts. This is nuts. Okay, you started to say, and then another time. What were you?
Another time I was also in my room, and I heard what sounded like an elderly woman's voice saying, "I haven't spoken to anyone in 68 years."
What?
What? Yeah, I know.
What?
And I don't know. Maybe it's because usually people can't hear them, and they're surprised that I seem to react to what they say.
Do you ever talk back?
I have on occasion.
Well, this lady hasn't spoken to anybody in 60 years. Did you have a conversation with her?
I responded to her. I said, I asked her if she wanted to talk, and I didn't hear her after that. So I don't know. Maybe it was. I don't know what that one was.
Wow. So that's a spirit that can't talk to anybody. It's lonely. It's in another dimension, and has been alone. Hasn't run into anybody else. Completely alone, and finally, for some reason, came out of that dimension, found you, was able to finally speak to somebody after 60 years, and then she left and never had that conversation that she wanted.
Right.
Wow.
She just came and said that and left.
Wow. Wow. Okay. Wow. I'm just sitting here imagining that for a second. That must really suck. You know?
It did the first few years. It really did.
Wow.
Because I knew I wasn't crazy, and I knew.
No,
I'm not saying
I'm not saying sucking for you, for her.
Oh.
She
for
finally,
her,
she was like, "Oh, I get to talk," you know, and she did. She was
Yeah.
probably yelling, you know,
right,
to make sure
she
that
was loud and clear.
Yes. Wow. That's amazing. That's like a movie. Yeah, that's like a bad dream. That's crazy. Okay, now tell me how you're able to record, though. How does this work?
Oh, I kind of just stumbled on it. I got a voice-activated tape recorder. This was several years ago, and I used to leave it on in my room when I went to sleep because I thought they were messing with me when I was sleeping. And I would record them when I was asleep. I would listen the next morning, and the voices. There would be a chorus of voices on the tape recorder, or sometimes just walking around in the park. There's some ambient sound that's there. That they use whatever sound is available or certain tones to put together words, I guess.
Arturo,
but I was able to play that, and my mother even heard it. I played it for one of them for my mother one time, and I left the room so I wouldn't influence her. And I came back 15 minutes later and said, "So what do you think?" And she said, "I definitely heard your name a few times." And I said, "What did it sound like?" And she said, "A chorus of voices." And I said, "That's them."
Can you send me some of the recordings?
Sure. I will do that, definitely.
Arturo says he's listened to some of your stuff. So you and Arturo have connected over the last year?
Oh, no, we haven't.
Oh, okay.
Haven't gotten together about that.
Okay, well, maybe he's. I'm looking down at TweetDeck and he's talking to somebody else. Okay, so that's what I get for paying attention to Twitter when I should be engaged.
Okay.
So, how loud are the recordings, and is it like what you see on, Ghost Hunters and Ghost Adventures, where it's really low and they have to boost it, or is it like right there and ready?
To me, it's there, right there, because I often made the recordings when I first started doing it in quiet places where there really weren't any other people around, and to me it just popped. They just pop when I play it back.
And what was the well, the little boy was pretty crazy. You have the old lady that didn't speak to anybody in 60 years. And those were kind of fun. Have you had one that was like incorrect and scary?
I've had a few I've had a number that were really incorrect. I thought at the beginning of this whole experience that somebody or several somebodies were trying to mess with me because of some of the things. But like one time I was in the grocery store at the checkout line, and I was looking in my wallet, and before I looked up, I heard this male-sounding, guttural, low, deep voice go, "Satan says hello."
Oh.
And I glanced up at the readout on the register, and it said $6.66.
Whoa. Oh, man.
I think he was just trying to mess with me because I'm not really a religious person, and I think they were trying to mess with me like maybe they thought I was. But
now, are you able
I just ignored him.
Yeah, are you able to turn this on and off?
It's taken me a few years, but I got to the point where I've learned to listen, to other listen to other places and not listen to where they are, the kind of frequencies where they tend to be. But sometimes they still pop out.
And are you able to? Have you made friends? Have it repeat performance kind of thing, and developed a relationship, and you know who the voice is?
Well, some of them, they don't seem to have names. They haven't given me any names, and I've asked them, but I recognize some of their speech patterns and some of the ways they phrase things, because they do it consistently a certain way. That's how I kind of recognize some of them.
Right. That's amazing. And what about names? Have you ever gotten names?
They've never given me any names. I don't think they have names, from what I could tell. They don't think they use names.
Now, who are they? Who are they? What do you think? What do you think you're...
I've asked them, and they said we are unable to answer that. They give me these, very short responses, like, we are unable to answer that.
Right.
And I say, well, why are you unable to answer that? And they said, well, we are unable to answer that.
You would be wicked with a Ouija board. Have you gone down that road?
I did that as a child, yes.
Yeah.
And I won't do that.
Right.
Very likely.
Right.
But, I had a lot of fun with the Ouija board.
Wow. Man, this is one of the best calls I've had in a long time, Lisa. You never told me anything about any of this, ever. I feel like I've discovered something about you. Well, I have.
I've hardly told anyone about it, because I didn't want them to think I was, a few sandwiches short of a picnic.
Sure. Yeah. Next thing you know, you're going to be laying on a couch somewhere, talking to somebody about something that, they think you're hearing voices in your head, and you're not.
Right, they think I'm schizophrenic.
Right. Wow. And everything else about your life, totally normal, right? You're doing your thing. Everything's cool, but you just got this thing. Wow.
Yes.
Wow. That's amazing. Lisa, thank you for the call. Thank you so much.
Of course.
And
thank you for listening.
No, all the best. And you've got my email. Shoot me an email and send me some of those, and we'll get you back. I'll play them on the show, and you can tell us all about it.
Okay.
All right.
Will do.
Is that a deal?
All right, Jimmy. Yes, that's a deal.
Thank you so much, Lisa.
All right. Have a good night.
You too.
And I'll keep listening.
I know.
To you.
Bye, Lise.
Bye-bye.
Hi, Dino. How are you?
Oh, this is Jesse Ventura. You were getting political tonight.
Stop. Hey.
And I wanted everybody to know to stay away from political parties.
Yeah.
But seriously, It is, Dino.
Yeah. Hey, did you just listen to what Lisa had to say?
Yeah, at some point I will have to meet with her and discuss further. It's not my area, but I believe she's sincere, and I used to work with schizophrenics. I don't think she's one.
Oh, no, not at all. And
not at all.
Wow, what? Wow.
No,
I mean,
I'm
very rarely blown away. That was great. That was great stuff. Wow, Lisa.
Well,
and I know she's listening to me right now. You better send me that email. I want those files. I got to listen to that. That's good stuff.
Yeah, we'd love to hear them if it's okay, Lisa. But that brings to mind something I wanted to bring up a couple of weeks ago. One of your guests was talking about something about, well, I guess it was the Montauk stuff. And I met a young woman many years ago who I thought, had taken too much acid, or maybe had some schizophrenic problems, but she was showing me some of her poetry and some lyrics, and she said she apparently knew some rock stars in San Francisco that were 60s icons. And she had this one poem that talked about in the dark being grabbed, globes of flesh, grabbing, and it really hit home when I saw Montauk, which is why I had asked the gentleman who was on last week whether there were any females who had been abducted involved, because it sounded like her experience as she related to me.
Yeah, interesting.
And anyhow,
go ahead. It's your show.
Well,
it's
I had
your
a couple
show.
other. You always. I know that you want to go, and I could spend a half hour 3 nights a week helping co-host. But three other things. Two other things. I have a lot of thoughts on that video that you showed. That was quite a video. This UFO. It looks to me like, again, the flames were very controlled. It wasn't even flames. It was more glowing. Reminded me of when the space shuttle would come in,
Yes.
But not
yes,
even
yes.
that. It didn't flare up and down. It was very consistent, and it did appear to change positions on at least 2 occasions. Have to excuse my voice. I've been getting a little bit of the grip here. So anyhow, it could be something. And then the Bigfoot video that you showed earlier in the week. Now, I'm not a cinematographer, but that was the clearest thing I've ever seen outside of the film from the 1962.
Yeah, Patterson.
The Patterson film, and the fact that you said I've never been to the swamp or the bayou, but I would think twice if I was trying to do a hoax about alligators and moccasin snakes. So I'm beginning to think that might have some reality to it.
Yep, it's there's something predatory about it. There's something animalistic about it. It just doesn't. Now, it could be somebody acting really well, doing a really good job. I get that, but the film speaks for itself, and if it's deception, it's done really, really, really well. But that is indeed a crazy video.
Yeah, there's something going on there, and you have to have someone technically adept at that thing to look at that and to see if anything could have been done. I mean, that's the part that bothers me, is we get clearer and clearer images from people's cell phones and digital cameras and all, and at the same time we're getting clearer images of these anomalies in the sky or in our backwoods of planet Earth. We have the technology to create fantasy too, so it's real hard. You go back and forth. Well, that's a clear picture, but was it photoshopped? That's a clear video, but did someone do iMovie on it? So
right.
We need to get more critical on this stuff, but we have to realize that we have to believe when evidence is presented. We have to start believing it.
Well, and also in that Bigfoot video, I want to go back and talk about the UFO video too before I let you go. But when you look at that Bigfoot video and you find out that it's a guy in a boat and you hear the oar in the water and he's trying to be quiet, you can tell. And and that's the part that was kind of disturbing to me, because it just seemed authentic, But
and yet the same thing. I just wanted to interject here. Was it a few months ago or last year? A guy was in a tent and a Bigfoot was outside the tent. Did they find that was a hoax? Because that guy was breathing heavy and sounded scared. Remember the video?
Yeah. He didn't see it. He heard it outside of his tent. But that could have been a raccoon. Could have been a bear. Could have been anything outside of your tent. That's just my opinion. But this video, the reason why, if you were going to, there wasn't anything ultra clear. It wasn't a long video. It wasn't. It doesn't appear to be. Because if you're going to go overboard and shoot it, maybe make it longer. I'm talking about hoax it.
Stage it better.
It better and get a clearer shot. And no, you didn't have any of that. It was like a guy in a boat sneaking up on something that was, any other animal back in it could have been whatever, pick an animal back in the weeds, and you're going to try to sneak up on it because as soon as it knows you're there, it's gone. And that's just the way nature works, and that's the way that video hit me. And if it's staged, it was acted really well. It felt like an animal out there. And
as good as the Patterson film, but clearer.
Yeah, definitely clearer. Yeah, really,
because the
really
Patterson
clear.
film, I've watched people analyze it that were kinesiologists and such, and the way that the female turned her head, she turned her whole shoulder. It was not human-like. And in this case, slapping the water, it looked like, that's what animals do to warn you off sometimes,
Yeah, pretty creepy video. Now, back to the UFO video. The reason why There's two things that just stand out for me. Yeah, the fire's kind of weird. The flames are weird. All of that. It lasts for 3 minutes. That's pretty strange too. But there's no flames on the bottom or the top, and you can see that. And that's kind of that's just doesn't look like the classic meteor stuff that we have seen coming through the atmosphere. It totally reminds me of what happens with a space capsule or the shuttle, like you were saying.
Exactly. It was a controlled descent, and I've been here out in my yard, and I saw that big meteorite. Well, that was about a year and a half ago that crashed in Sonoma, and I remember it was just before twilight, and the thing streaked so fast. I mean, you knew it was doing hypersonic, and it lit up the whole sky, and you could see the direction. This video, it's like a controlled craft, whether it's a jet, a space shuttle, or a capsule. It was a controlled descent.
Yep, and then what does it do? It turns. Explain that to me, man. It friggin' turns. Now, it could have been something, a big chunk of metal that happened to have some kind of unnatural airfoil shape to it, that it just happened to be a big chunk of iron that was disc-shaped, and the atmosphere, the oxygen and everything that's going on here affected the airfoil shape, and the turn was just a natural turn from, when you throw a frisbee in the air, and that's what happens. Well, it could be that. It very well could be, but the
friction that would be created by the atmosphere at the speed that it appeared to be going,
right,
it would need to be something metallic, not to burn up.
That's right.
So therefore, if it was not a craft, it must have been some kind of space junk that was made out of metal.
Now, and see, check this out. If it was a big chunk of iron, wouldn't we see the iron, the sparks flying off of it as the iron melts, and you see the debris falling off of it, and it's starting to dissolve, and we didn't see any of that.
And I think that you're gonna have to catch me on this. Someone in the Fadernauts will catch me. But I think when iron burns in a meteorite, it glows blue.
Yeah, I've heard the same thing, that different content burns in different colors. So what burns in orange? You know what used to burn in orange that I remember? The tiles on the space shuttle. That's what.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. That's kind of weird. So maybe what if it was just some secret, Air Force, something that was re-entering, and it came in at the wrong spot, and there was an error, and it was completely man-made. That's a possibility, too.
There's our secret space program. There's proof.
That's right. Hey, Dino, thank you, man. I'm going to get to some more calls before the end of the night, man. All my best, my brother.
Sometime in the future, I wanted to suggest Mokili Mbembe. I love saying that. I did hear a recording of that dinosaur that supposedly in Africa several years ago, a DJ played it. And you got to try to find that tape. It was Mokili Mbembe, and some of the deep tribes in Africa say that they've seen this baby dinosaur running around.
I remember that.
We got to get someone on for that.
Yep. Shoot me an email. Remind me. We'll get on it. Thank you, Dino.
Good night.
All the best. Hi, you're live on Faded Black. Who's calling?
Hey, Jimmy, it's Tammy.
Hey, Tammy, what are you doing?
I'm sitting here just totally so proud of Lisa. I don't even know how to say it. Just brightened up my whole night.
That was amazing. Amazing.
I know, but, I'm going to say this. She's got more gifts, and she needs to learn how to relax and accept them and not be afraid of others.
You spot on that one, young lady.
I am.
Yes,
I know
you
I
are.
am.
Yes, you are. But that was, the thing is, and I feel a little guilty. Maybe she didn't call in to tell us about that. And, she even said she doesn't tell people about it, and she keeps it to herself. And I can't help it but to get to what people need to talk about. There's something inside of everybody that they need to just sit down with me or
Jimmy,
someone.
Lisa has been holding that in so long. It was a cage. Do you understand? That was a cage.
Yeah,
and
man.
She just let all of us, her friends, inside to see that our friend is more beautiful than she even lets anybody know. And I just, I love her more for that. I really do. I was like, Lisa, yes.
That was, I got to tell you, listen.
I'm actually crying right now because it's just so beautiful. You
Well,
know?
it is. Calm down, Tammy. Calm down. Take a deep breath. Take a deep breath. Take a deep breath.
That's turning me on.
Oh, stop. I'll tell Mark. So,
go ahead. It's probably turning him on, too.
That's TMI. That's TMI. But when she said, when you listen to, those kind of comments, with the little boy saying you watch too much TV, it's very easy to take it apart a little bit and figure out exactly what was going on there. That is obviously a little boy that knows nothing about computers. So he probably died in the 40s or 50s. Computers, at least computer terminals, and the word computer, came out in the 60s and 70s, and we all dreamed about space and the future and everything. It sounded like, a comment that would come from somebody from the 50s that would sit in front of the TV too close, and you would go blind. You remember all of those? If you sit too close, you go blind. You're sitting too close to the TV. You're watching too much TV. You're sitting too. That's what that comment came from. And that's...
Yeah, well, I was thinking maybe 30s when the TV first came out and people were so intrigued, like we are with the computer and Facebook and Yahoo and you name it, where, TVs were brand new and somebody gets one, they sit in front and they're so amazed and they're watching it and nothing's getting done, and mom comes in, you're watching too much TV, do your chores, That's the way it made me feel. It was like... It took me, I don't know how to explain this. Sometimes when I get close to people, and this is the truth, when I start getting too close to people and I start seeing things, I back off. Sometimes I just disappear.
Well, my mom used to say that to us all the time. That was the thing. You're sitting too close. You're watching too much TV. Go out and play. Yeah. Go out. Don't come home. Go out and play. When it gets dark, then you can come back. But go and leave. And, the opposite of what we tell our kids now, because we don't want them to go outside and play because we're scared. So we don't do that. Now it's okay.
Oh, hopscotch. Kids don't even know how to do hula hoop.
But what about the other comment, Tammy, about the old lady? She hasn't talked to anybody in 61 years? Wow.
I was basically drawn back to... the kid. That's the one that got me. I don't know how to explain it, but it was like when Lisa was talking about it, she opened up so much that those of us that can see, and I'm sure I'm not the only one in the group because I feel comfortable with this group. There's not one person on there I don't see with an ability, and I just wish everybody can open up like Lisa did.
Well, and that's
that was such a huge, huge step for her.
And that's what, Tammy, that's what this show is about. That's exactly what this show is about. This is a family.
Jimmy, as a kid, I had anxiety because I would see somebody get hurt and I'd tell them about it and they'd be afraid of me afterwards. When I got shot in the head, I had friends that I'd known for years. And I told them all before I got shot, I have a feeling I'm going to get shot. You know how many of them are still friends of mine?
How many?
I love them all to this day. They disappeared.
And why?
They didn't accept it.
Why?
They didn't accept it. I could see they don't understand it.
Are they scared that maybe they have secrets that they don't want you to know about? Or B, they're thinking of things about you that they don't want you to know? Or they're thinking thoughts about other people?
My ex-husband is now a priest for the Jehovah's Witnesses. I'm laughing about that, okay? I mean, literally, he says I'm the devil because I told him, I said, no, an angel can't. Wait till I show you, you get a free book because that's what you said on Halloween was you wanted to treat. So I'm getting you a book. But when you read that, I just explain everything in there. The whole town of Pacific City, my stomping grounds. I'd walk into that town and be like, Tam, want to stay at our motel? You got a free room. Now it's like, oh shit, you're coming to town?
Right. You just said a bad word on the air. And so how
You said that same dang word. And
man, I slipped.
So did I.
I slipped. So, but how does that make you feel?
I'm sorry.
And no, wait a minute. We'll come back to that question. Can you turn it on and turn it off? Or is it just you have no control?
There's times I can turn it on and off. That's what I want to teach Lisa. But at the same time, when I try and block things, like I didn't want to see my dad with the brain tumor. I didn't want to see my little brother get crushed between a log loader and his carrier. But I'm glad I did because I made it home in time to claim his body so my parents didn't claim Jell-O. Okay?
Right.
I bottle-fed that kid.
Right.
So in some ways, it's a miracle. And because I know ahead of time, it helps me build the strength to be able to be there for, like, my mom, my dad.
Right.
My great aunt, 114, give me a hug. She said, I've always known you've been touched by God, but if you see how I'm going to die, honey, don't tell me. I want it to be a surprise. Isn't that amazing? Man. I loved her for that. She was born on St. Valentine's Day and died on St. Patrick's Day, 114 years later.
So the subject tonight is, have you ever seen a UFO? Have you?
Yes.
Tell me.
Which time? Mark thinks I call him. I'll go outside. Since I was a little girl, me and my dad, I'll tell you the first one I seen. Me and my dad were in Texas. We were on our way home from Fort Bragg to Oregon. And my dad and I stayed out all night. Beautiful, warm, summer Texas night in the middle of nowhere. Big old camp. My mom and I were fighting, and my dad stuck up for me. So he kind of got the boot, too. So I said, fine, I'm going to just camp out on the table. So I put my sleeping bag on the table, and my dad said, there's snakes out there. And I said, well, if one bites me, fine. I was just so mad. So I laid down, and my dad came out, and he had his feet by me, and he was rubbing my feet so I'd go to sleep faster. I said, Dad, what are those things? And he looked up, and he goes, honey, I don't know. He said, but they sure the hell aren't planes or helicopters.
What they look like? But what were you seeing? What they look like?
Oh gosh, and there was so many lights. They were red, white, laser beams going. One threw off a laser beam. I'm not kidding, Jimmy. And I thought, wow, is this like that? Okay, I'm sorry, Fadernaughts. My secret: I don't like Star Wars.
Oh, that's fine. I only like the first three that were released. The new ones just don't do it for me.
Yeah, me neither. It's William Shatner was a great actor, good guy, but Mark and I seen some where one would go into another one and then disappear, or where they shoot straight up in the air. In fact, there's one that I can actually see that when I'm looking up, if he goes over or she goes over, they flash. And I've got a broken neck. My neck is broken with 3 bad discs. And one of them is 1/4 of an inch away from the next disc down. So it's, hard for me to look down. And it flashes. And every time this one flashes, my headache goes away. The pain in my neck that's constantly there, the ringing in my ears, everything goes away. And one day I told Mark, I said, that's Raju. And Mark goes, what? I said, that's his name. I said, but it's not his name. I can't say his name correctly, but it's like Raju. And Mark goes, the look, like, okay, you've lost it. Well, about, 2 weeks later, I said, that Raju is going to leave and he's going to prove to you that I've seen him. And it flew close by. Mark just looked at me. He's like, whoa.
Wow.
So cool. I'm not kidding. We've seen so many things here in Florence, orbs, you name it. I mean, it's just crazy. And all I do is look up with a clear, open mind. And that's all you have to do.
That's exactly right, Tammy. Thank you so much for calling in again. You're the best.
Hey, No, I'm
Hello?
not.
Hey, hold on. Who is?
Whoa.
I'll hold.
Oh, stop. Yeah, hang on. Sorry, Tammy, I've got another call right next to you. Hey,
I can leave.
Yeah, give my best to Mark.
Oh, he'd love that.
And
Bye.
I'll talk to you guys over the weekend.
All right.
All the best, Tammy. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black. Who's calling?
Brent Johnstone. I'm new.
Hi, Brent. How are you, brother?
I'm cool, man. I've seen that you're asking if anybody's seen anything.
Yeah, absolutely. What have you seen?
Well, I was born in 70. I'm from St. Louis. And I was playing Hot Wheels in the backyard. I don't know, between 3 and 7 years old, and seeing what looked like, the best way to describe it, 6 white lights, almost like a half dozen eggs, but 1 leading and 1 following and 4 in the middle side by side. So if it was like a volleyball team, it would be 1, 2, 2, and 1.
Oh, I got you.
And it was, if you imagine a soft white light bulb with kind of like a blue hue instead of a warm white with a red hue.
Right.
And it was they were really bright, and they weren't far above, but that's kind of hard to determine. And at that age, I hadn't seen anything, so I wasn't fascinated. It was just something I noticed. And it was a clear, sunny afternoon. And I had never seen anything like that ever again. That's why it was imprinted in my memory.
So let me ask you a couple of obvious questions. You describe an egg, so no wings, nothing like that.
No, they were just perfect circles.
Right, and you, at that age, you know what an airplane is, right? You see them all the time.
Oh, sure. I had Hot Wheels.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. At that age, you know what's going on. So you can strike a bunch of things off that list, but as a kid looking up and seeing something like that, what were you thinking that you were seeing?
I don't know. I just seen something that was perfectly obvious. And I know I never seen anything like that in the sky before.
How far?
We didn't have video games. I spent all my time outside.
Sure. How big do you think they were? Were they as big as an airplane? Were they bigger than that? At that age, you could probably figure that out.
Well, airplanes were usually a lot higher. So than what I think or try to remember that I saw. But anyway, they're probably the size of an actual egg. I don't know. It was hard to determine the distance. We're talking over 35 years ago.
Right.
Go ahead.
What about noise?
Nothing.
Nothing at all?
No clouds. No nothing.
Okay, so then what?
No sound.
Where did they go? What did they do?
I don't know that they were even moving, you know. And then I went back to playing Hot Wheels. I wasn't fascinated by them. It was just something I never seen before, and I haven't never seen again. So now I'm fascinaed, you know.
Yeah, of course.
And I reported this to MUFON, and I've been on your chat line talking to folks now that they're a little more comfortable with me.
Sure.
And I told the story. It's all on there.
Okay.
And a few other stories. And there's also, I've also registered this sighting with MUFON, and it's nothing to me. Now, I'm kind of a little shaken right now as I talk to you. You might hear it in my voice because of something else I've experienced lately.
What's that?
But some kind of owl thing. And then I'm starting to have dreams, and sometimes they come true in days. But they're not literal. They're almost like suggestive.
Right.
Dreams. So other than that, I don't know.
Well,
something makes me feel that it's all kind of related. Huh?
Yeah, probably. When you said owl, what did you mean?
I got a great horned owl that hangs around and sit on my roof peak right above my bed. I can hear it hooting at night sometimes.
Right.
It's been a while. But just a few weeks ago, as I was talking about it, the thing flew down off of my roof as I was looking out my back door, talking to somebody on the phone. And, they're perfectly silent, and I'm standing inside. It's wintertime in St. Louis.
Right.
I'm looking out at the gas sign, talking about gas prices with a friend of mine, and this owl was in the conversation too, and the thing swooped down right in front of the sign. It was nighttime, and I seen it swoop down right in front of me. Couldn't have been 15 feet away. I got a field in my backyard,
right.
And I could see it in the lights of the billboard as I was looking at the gas price on the billboard. Now, it does sit on these 15-foot street lights that I have at the car lot, catty corner to me, and he'll hunt because the critters can't see him sitting up on top of the street light.
Right, right.
But he can see them,
Right.
And but it's a great horn. It's a big one.
It sounds like you have a buddy.
Maybe, but I do have cats. They're house cats. I have ferals because I don't throw food away. I throw the food out there for those critters to eat. They need food too in the winter.
Right.
And but we got coyotes and hawks and all that kind of stuff. And I'm like Route 66, Interstate 70.
Yep.
Is only like 400 yards from my back door, but there's a winter wheat field between me and there. So, anyway.
Okay, so really quick before I let you go, you're telling me about these dreams that you've been having lately that are coming true, or I'll let you. What is going on?
I have no idea, man. That's why I'm participating, you see, in your radio show. I'm looking for answers. I don't have answers.
Right.
I'm looking to see, but I don't care what anybody thinks about me. I'm 44 years old.
Right.
I'm comfortable in my skin.
Right.
So I'm just listening to other people's experiences and trying to come up with a answer, because I'm a technician, so emergency service tech, so my brain don't stop working until I have answers.
Right.
It's just that's just the way I'm hardwired.
Right.
But that's I've only listened to your show for the fourth time tonight, and this is the first time I've called, but I've been talking to some folks that have been long-time listeners, and Lori, who called in earlier, she invited me to, because I've talked to her a little bit about this too, so that's why she's like, you need to come.
You need to come hang out. Yeah, you need to. And look, man, hey, Brent, seriously, this is it's a big family, but it's a cool family. And once you're in, man, it's like The Godfather. You can't leave. And so welcome to the family, and
right on.
And it's really good to share and to talk, and if you ever want to call back in and tell us about one of the dreams and something that has come true, and tell us about that experience, then what you're going to do is somebody else is going to listen to that experience. And,
I could tell you, but I don't want to. There's other folks too that want to call in and talk, but I don't want to take up all their airtime.
There's plenty of shows in our future. We do this 4 nights a week, my brother. Okay?
Yeah, it's elaborate stuff, man, and I've got not a photographic memory, but it ain't bad. So.
Yeah, sounds like me. Thank you, Brent. And
right on.
Shoot Rita an email. We'll pop something in the mail to you. We'll find something in the junk drawer. All right?
Oh, I don't need anything, man, but cool, thanks.
Thank you so much. You too, Brent. Thank you. Hey, Les, what's shaking, Bacon?
How you doing, Game Changer, you?
Man, it's another Fader night. Man, I love Thursdays, man. I could just sit here and do this all night long. I could do it all night long.
Okay, let's do it.
Yeah, I knew. See, I knew I should have said that, because now we can.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah,
Isn't that freaking amazing? You can.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
It's your network now, buddy.
Yeah, you know what?
Whatever you want.
I could also leave early too.
Oh, yeah, that's true, too.
Man,
Absolutely.
look at all these phone calls coming in. Let me see who some of these are. This one looks like it's from out of the country. Let's grab this. Hold on.
Take it.
Yeah, let's see.
Take it.
Hi, you're live on Fade to Black. Who's calling?
Hi, Jimmy. It's Dean calling from the UK.
It is from the UK. How are you, man?
It is. Pretty good.
It's a little early out there, isn't it? What time is it? 6 in the morning?
Yeah, it's 5:48 in the morning. Snowing. Very cold.
Oh, man. Thank you for calling in, man.
No worries. I just wanted to tell you about my little UFO sighting I had 2013.
You know what? I can't believe this. You're a little breaking up, and it's because it's from the UK. Say that again.
Yeah, I had a UFO sighting in 2013.
Oh, really? Where at?
It was in a little place called Warrington near Liverpool.
Near Liverpool. Okay. And what did you see?
Yeah. Basically, I worked the night shift, as you can tell. I was leaving work at 4:30 in the morning.
Uh-huh.
Walking towards the car park, what you call a car parking lot.
Uh-huh.
And I just had this feeling that I needed to look up. And as I looked up, there's this metallic disc about 40 feet in the air, just skimming the rooftop of the building I came out of.
Oh, wow.
Sort of floating slowly past me, about 20 miles an hour. 4 really bright, intense lights underneath it, which surprised me because all the videos I'd seen on YouTube and that, they only ever had 3.
Right.
The reason I'm phoning you basically is because it how can I describe it? It's the description I can give you is it was like walking into a bubble. Everything changed as soon as I saw that UFO, that disc. Everything changed. It was like the temperature changed. There was no sound. I couldn't hear anything. No birds, no traffic, nothing. It was just completely silent.
Wow.
It felt like the temperature went up about 10 degrees. Bearing in mind this was on the 4th of January.
Right.
So it was a cold morning. And I would have thought I would have been quite apprehensive. But when it actually happened, I couldn't take the smile off my face. I was grinning from ear to ear for about 4 hours.
What was your name again? I'm sorry, I didn't catch your name at the beginning of the call. What is it?
It's Dean.
Dean.
A couple of times.
Okay, Dean, I got it. Oh, yeah. Now, let me ask you this. How long did it last?
I'd say 6, 7, maybe 8 seconds. It came from behind me. The building was behind me.
Right.
It came from above the building. It just came sort of breezing across over the top of my head.
Right.
I looked up as it was directly above me. It was so close I could have thrown a stick at it.
Right.
And it got to about 50 feet in front of me and just switched off. Like somebody had flicked a light switch.
Just gone. Another dimension. Just disappeared. Teleported.
Yeah, just went. Yeah.
And as soon as it left, temperature came back to normal. You could hear the birds, and life was back to normal.
Yeah, it was the weirdest thing I've ever experienced.
Hey, Dean, let me ask you this. Now, this is brother to brother, right? Okay,
go.
After that happened, what did you think? Now you know. You said you smiled for 4 hours. The questions were answered for you, weren't they?
Oh, yeah.
Did
I no longer believed.
Right. Any military installations around you in Liverpool there that could spit out some crazy explanation about it being an experimental craft or something like that?
Not nearby, no. I mean, there are military installations within sort of 100 miles, and the nearest one I can think of, RAF Valley, which is a training airport for training the pilots.
Right.
That's about 100 miles.
Yeah, so that's it. So now, okay, you smiled and you've got your answer. Do you think there was a chance it could have been ours?
I don't know. I'm open to anything.
Right. No, it doesn't sound like you want to say yes.
I really couldn't say.
Right.
I really couldn't say. I mean, I'd like to think it was E.T. I'd like to think we're not alone. I'm open-minded enough to realize it.
Right. Well,
we're a young planet.
If it was ours, wouldn't there have been a number on it? Or even if it was a saucer shape, wouldn't there be a number on it? Or an RAF insignia, United States insignia, something identifying it as something, and there was nothing on the aircraft at all, or the saucer.
There was absolutely nothing. It was just a dark metallic disc with 4 lights on the bottom.
Wow.
I couldn't really see the top of it because it was over my head.
Right.
But what I could see of it, there were no markings on it at all, no rivets, no seams, nothing.
Wow, that is just amazing. I'm jealous. I'm
Was
jealous.
the surface reflective or anything like that?
Sorry, what was that?
Les just asked if it was reflective.
I'd say no. I could see the metallic structure, but it wasn't reflecting any light. So, I mean, there were lights on the building that I was coming out of, but it wasn't reflecting any light from the building that I could tell.
Now, here's the.
But then again, it had 4 bright lights on the bottom of it, so they might have sort of counteracted the lights from the building.
Now, no cell phone camera, no pictures.
No, I was too quick. I wish.
I know. Isn't that funny how that goes like that? And you probably had a camera on you. It was just too quick.
I did. I had my cell phone in my pocket.
Yeah, same thing happened to me, man. Same thing happened to me. It happened too fast, and by the time, you're so caught up in the moment and watching, like you said, you smiled for 4 hours after that. And you get caught up in the moment, and that's the last thing you think about is a picture. But, hey, Dean.
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
Yeah, Dean, thank you so much. So I take it, who's your football team over there? Are you Liverpool guy?
Oh, Liverpool, of course.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It was a dumb question, but you never know. You never know.
Just a little side note. My father had 3 options when he left school. He was going to either be a violinist, a footballer, or a soldier. He actually got signed up for the Liverpool squad and then changed his mind and became a soldier.
Oh, no.
It was better pay at the time.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Oh, man.
Now, that's a story right there when somebody tells me something about, I could have gone, I could have played pro football, and you're just like, yeah, right, whatever. But when you hear that, no, man, I went in the Army because it paid more money. I believe that story.
Yeah.
that story, I believe. Dean, you have a great weekend, man, and we'll catch you on Monday, my brother.
And you, man.
Thank you so much.
Cheers, Jimmy.
Cheers, all the way, man. Thank you.
Take care, Dean.
Bye.
Yeah, Dean has been writing me for a long. Hey, you're live on the air. Hold on. Turn down the radio. Turn it down if you.
Already did.
Okay. Who's calling?
This is Barrett.
Hey, Barrett. Say hi to Les.
Hi, Les. How are you, Bubba?
Brother Barrett. Oh, my God.
All right. That's
nice hearing from you, brother.
That's a good way to end the show tonight. Hey, Les, by the way, you got your script all corrected? You got all the changes made?
Yes, sir, I did. I worked on that around, as soon as I got home from date day.
Okay,
so,
it'll be a test. What's going on, Barrett? You said you were going to check out for a minute. You okay?
I'm doing okay. I'm fine. I just had to get dark, and this is good. It's fade to black is always best when it's dark. So it's working for me.
If you guys could see me here in the studio's dark, and I just love it. Whatever your image is, I'm sitting in a studio with a microphone and there's no lights on, and my face is illuminated by the Twitter. That's what's going on, man. I'm one step away from like really scary black candles. You know, then
I've kind of got that Blair Witch vibe from you.
Yeah, buddy. Oh, you're close, man. You are so close. Because the walls in the studio here, just so you guys know, they're painted flat black with like it's studio paint, so it's got texture to it. You know what I mean? So it's black, black. You can shine a flashlight on it, and the light gets sucked up into it, man. It just like disappears. It's crazy in here. It's just black, man. Black.
Hey, Jimmy, I wanted to tell you, that Bigfoot video that you sent out yesterday?
Yep.
I lived 5-10 minutes from there when I lived in Tampa. It's in a place called Temple Terrace at Lettuce Lake.
Yep.
I used to go there I used to go there 3 days a week in high school.
What'd you think of the video?
It's clear, and they did pan up a little bit. I just can't tell if it's a suit or not.
It's a big dude, whoever it is.
Yeah, I mean, it's
wide.
big. It looks like they're killing a snake, or it's trying to make noise to scare them, because the Hillsborough River goes right through there.
Right.
And I think that's what they were either back in the swamp, or, they were, it's right on the edge. So
it's a crazy video.
I mean,
hey, Barrett, what'd you think?
It's one of those. I'm right there with Les. It's so difficult from that footage to get a real feel for it. I mean, I'm like you. I was intrigued. That's it. It definitely kind of made the hair stand up a little bit. But
yeah.
What can you do?
Look, we've all, especially when we're adults, we've had experiences in our lives going out into the woods and how animals react, and you've got to tiptoe, and you can't make any noise. You never see any animals. You don't, because they know you're coming and they disappear. And you've got to see, that's the way it works on planet Earth. And so, we've all been out fishing on a boat. You know what it is like if you see some really cool ducks on the side or whatever, and you try to paddle over to them, you can kind of get close, but they know you're there, and then they run away. You've got to be sneaky. And that's the way that video feels to me. They're kind of being, he didn't even want to put the oar in the water. You can kind of hear that. He didn't want to make any noise. And it's a very natural way to, I mean, if you were faking that, it would be like, cut, let's do it again, cut, let's do it again, cut, because you need to get that just right. That just seemed like a real-time, real thing. Wait, look, if it's a hoax, it's just really well done. My hat's off.
Very, very well done and very well acted. Yeah.
Yeah. No doubt about it.
Bob Garrett was on Sasquatch Chronicles like 2 or 3 weeks ago before he disappeared.
Yeah, I know. Yep.
Yeah, it's very interesting that he was having a lot of government trouble. They were really hounding him big time.
Yeah, I want to talk to him and chase him down. I can't. I've tried. So that's it. He hasn't posted on Facebook. He is just dropped out, man. He is just not around. So
well, he said he wasn't going to be around anymore. He said he gave up. They were, like Jose said earlier, they were bugging his wife, man. I mean, they were stopping her at a stop sign, saying she was running the stop sign all the time. It's pretty heinous.
Yeah, it's messed up. All right, let's wrap this show. Hey, Barrett, you going to hang with us while we roll credits? Oh, wait a minute. Barrett, you called. What's up, man?
No, I just called because I wanted to be a part of this historic FADERNIGHT evening. It just had to be there.
Oh, thank you so much, Barrett, man. It means a lot. Thank you. It was a trying week, but everything just turned out to be okay. Technically, we're cool. We've got a couple of more bugs to work out with some technical stuff. But I meant to say, we got the Twitter feed is now up on jimmychurchradio.com. How cool is that?
Oh,
so
nice.
Fade to Black. We only have one. It's not TweetDeck isn't up there, But F2B is up there, and so everybody can see the tweet feed just tick by, and they can, all the new listeners that are listening right now. If you're on Spreaker, cool, you don't have to leave. But if you're on your iPhone, cool, you don't have to leave. But go to jimmychurchradio.com and listen from there, and stay on the webpage and watch the phenomena blow by. You can hear me talking about it all night, but unless you experience it for yourself, you just don't know. Go watch the Twitter feed. It's like brrr, and it's fun, and just look at the engaged people and conversations, and then follow us on Twitter and participate yourself. I can't suggest anything more fun than doing that. So there you go. Thank you guys. Thank you everybody out there for making this week such a success. And we can kind of tonight take a deep breath, wind down, and do it. You know what? I wasn't going to say anything, but I'll do it now at the end of this program. I'm going to host Coast to Coast Saturday night. So everybody that wants to come and hang out, they reached out today, and I said, sure. You know what? Why not? Let's go and blow the doors off over at Coast to Coast. So I'll be hosting Coast to Coast this Saturday, and my guest will be Mike Barra and Stuart Swerdlow. So there you go. There's the announcement. Well, it was one of those things. The offer came in, and it's not about. I just thought I don't want to. I just didn't want to announce it and make a big announcement and talk about it. At the beginning of the show tonight, we set things up this morning, and I didn't know if it was too sudden coming right off of everything else. Maybe we can put it off. But then I was just like, what? I've got. What? It's about us. Let's go and blow the doors off this mofo. All right, let's go and have some fun.
Let's get everybody over here. You offer such quality show, and why not? Remember how many people started showing up after you were on the first time?
Well, and it's okay. Yes, it's okay. It's just what I mean by that is we're all friends. Everything is cool. So anyway, enough of that. I'm just saying, all of you Fadernauts, this Saturday I'll be hosting Coast to Coast. I'll have Mike Barra on and Stuart Swerdlow. It's going to be the opposite. Stuart Swerdlow first because he's East Coast, and everybody's got to get up and go watch the Super Bowl the next day. And we all know how Mike Barra is a Seahawks fan, and so we're gonna. Yeah, it's going to be cool. Barrett's all about the Patriots. And,
yeah.
Hey, Barrett, I'm going to ask you a dumb question. Who's going to win on Sunday? Oh man, Barrett, you killed me. Hey, Barrett. Hey, Barrett. Barrett, slow down. Hey, Barrett, I saw you tweet earlier when I asked, or when I made that statement. Are the Patriots embarrassed, or do they even care about Deflategate?
Are you kidding me? Seriously? Listen. They are the most focused team, the most humble team, the most professional team. People forget that it wasn't that long ago before Bill Belichick and Tom Brady, before that era, before the Kraft era.
Right.
It was all about the players. They all came out and everybody called their names and they danced and they, the Patriots, they were the ones that instituted the whole thing, introduced us as a unit. And you never see any of the players out there hot dogging, making news, doing, the crazy stuff. It's all business. It's all organized. It's all, about the game. So are they distracted? No, they're always focused. And I think they are more focused than ever right now. And I'm sorry, Seahawks fans, but this is, I don't even know this is going to be even a good game.
Well,
It's
no.
gonna be awesome.
You know what's going to make it good no matter what, man? That Seahawks D is no joke, okay? And when you have a well-focused, and this is the other thing, Barrett, and this is the truth. This is I'm speaking the truth. When you get to the Super Bowl, all teams are good, except for when it was the Bears,
I agree.
it was the Bears and the Colts. The Bears backed over that one and got lucky. But let me finish. When you get to the Super Bowl, you're the best of the best. And I will say this. Belichick is one of the greatest coaches, not only living today, but ever. He's a great coach. I'm not a Patriots fan. I'm a Colts fan, but I'm also a sports fan. And I recognize talent when it's there. And Belichick is all of that. But you know what? As much as I don't like Pete Carroll and what he did to USC, I thought that was just screwed up and bailed out and went up to Seattle. But you know what? He turned that team around. And Pete Carroll, as much as I don't like him as a man, is a great coach. So we have two
He was a great coach when he was coaching the Patriots.
Yeah, he was a great coach then. Exactly. I didn't want to bring that up. But now we've got these two great coaches that are going to meet in the Super Bowl. These are great minds, great staffs, great offensive coordinators, great defensive, great wide receivers. Everything right now is gelling at the right time for both of these teams. So I'm hoping it's going to be an exciting Super Bowl. And no matter what, I don't have a favorite on either side here. I'm a Colts guy. I just want a good.
Oh, come on, Jimmy.
I want this baby. No, you know what? I want this thing like 28-31 with 4 minutes left. I don't care who's in the lead. That's what I want.
I don't know. Jimmy, seriously, as a fan, you saw an NFC championship, and the Seahawks, in my opinion, have absolutely, I don't know what happened. I have no idea, but I've watched them in the last few weeks because I called it at the beginning of the season. I said it was going to be the Seahawks and the Patriots.
A lot of people did. Yes.
Yeah, and I watched them the last few weeks, and it's like, I don't know. I know the D is good, but it just seems like I'm sure you watched that NFC Championship game.
I did.
That was awful. That was awful.
You know what?
And
Barrett.
There was no reason they shouldn't even be there.
No. I'm the exact opposite. I thought that was one of the best friggin' games I've seen in my life. And when you watch a team that they could have wrapped it up, man, they could have just stopped playing. Anybody else would have. I would have, and they didn't. And that's all they could have. Man, somebody could have taken a knee. It could have been over. It would have just been. Look, you're down by that many points with 3 minutes left. 2 minutes left. 2 minutes left in the game. And I thought that was exciting. I have no axe to grind here. I thought it was exciting, and I certainly couldn't believe it. And I almost turned off the TV a few times. I remember yelling into Wowo. Wowo was cooking dinner, and I yelled in, "All right, well, it's over. Okay, what are we having? What are you cooking? All right, well, it's wait, what? Hold on, stop dinner, stop cooking. This thing ain't over." And I thought that was exciting. And you know who I really feel bad for, is the Colts. The Colts went in there going. I'm a Colts fan, but let's put that to the side for a second. The Colts went in on a very high note, and they were playing their best ball. And Andrew Luck was just playing some great ball. And for them to go in and against Denver in that game. Indianapolis was active and fired up the bench. You could tell from the beginning of the game. You could tell Denver was not. They didn't have their head in the game, and Indianapolis was there and they came to play. And then when they go out to New England and they weren't in the game, and you could just feel it from the very beginning. It was just like not going their way. I just feel. I like a good competitive game. That's it. I don't like blowouts. I just don't. I like it close in the fourth quarter. And I want to see something happen, and that's what's exciting to me.
Oh, you always want to see somebody come back, Jimmy.
You do. Well, you want to see somebody come back, and what you don't want to see is the fourth quarter. Barrett, you know what I'm talking about. You don't want to go through.
I do.
Yeah, you don't. Yeah, you're a Patriots fan, but you don't want to go through a fourth quarter where you know that the other team has given up all hope and they're down by 28 points and they're not going to win, and whatever, you fall out of the game. So I just like.
Anybody that follows the game knows that these two teams in particular, never ever give up.
No, they don't. And look, true. Barrett, you're a Patriots fan. I'm a Colts fan. We know as fans of these teams the hell that we go through every single season. We've always got to go through New England. And that's just the way that how the season is going to end, man. It's going to end there, and may the best team win, and you know that. And I can't tell you how many times the Colts season was ended because of the Patriots. Trust me, I know exactly where you're going, and but I just want a good game. That's all. I want a good game.
It'll be a great game. There's no question it'll be a great game. It's just. I really am absolutely convinced. There's no doubt in my mind that Tom Brady and the Patriots, they have this. It's just one of those things. The whole thing, the universe has come together to make this happen, and it's going to be great. And like I said, these are the two teams that I can point out and tell you unequivocally, neither one of them will give up. There will be no giving up. There's more heart in these two teams this year than anybody else in the league.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you on that.
I have a feeling it's going to be a really close game. Yeah. And they're both going to fight as hard as hell. They're not going to give up. You're absolutely right.
You know what the worst day of the year is? The worst day of the year?
After.
Yeah, the Monday after the Super Bowl, man. That's the worst day. You know what's the worst evening of the year? The evening after the Super Bowl. That is just when that clock winds down to zero, and you're just like, man, no. I'm not the only one that thinks that way.
My season was over when after the first 6 games this year, when the Jags decided they weren't going to play this year. So, whatever.
It's funny. All the fringe people that listen to this show just dialed out. I hope I could already see the email. Man, the last 15 minutes of the show, man, they were talking football.
This Sports Minute was brought to you by Fade to Black.
Yeah, exactly. All right, guys, let's roll some credits here, and Barrett, good luck with that on Sunday.
Thank you. I'm gonna.
Jimmy,
hang on.
I want to hear your prediction. Go ahead, Barrett.
Okay, you know what? I'm going to do this with Barrett on the line. I'm going Seattle. And I'm going Seattle 30. I'm going to say this is what I said the other day. 34-28. There you go. 34-28. Okay. 2 field goals in the fourth quarter are going to put them up. There you go. That's it. I did it. Sorry, Barrett. Let's see. And we'll put some barbecue on it. What do you say?
Absolutely.
That's what I'm talking about, and I like mine dry.
Oh, yeah.
I like mine dry rub, brother. Okay.
Dry rub. You got it.
Barbecue at CRTV this year, definitely.
Okay, we're late. Go ahead, roll it.
Yeah. First thing we would like to thank all of the callers, especially with a special thank you to all the new callers who decided to phone home tonight on Fader Night. Fade to Black executive producer is Rita Kamarian. Show is produced by Hilton J. Palm and Mark D. Tovar. Special thanks to LJ3, that's me, Renee, and Jonas. Announcers are Steve Harder, Gene Bateau, and Mark D. Tovar. Fady by Dale. Webmaster and intern is Method of Signaling. Music is by Doug Aldrich. Intro is by Spaceboy.
Speed it up.
Check him out at spaceboymusic.com.
Speed it up.
Fade to Black is produced by KJCR for the Game Changer Network.
Thank you, everybody. Be safe. Listen, we got to wrap.
We're out of here.
Got to wrap. We're out. See you, everybody. See you on Monday right here.
See ya.
Thank you, guys.
Hey, thank you, Jimmy.
We're out. Hey, just everybody be safe. Have fun. Have a great Super Bowl, Barrett. Les, I'll talk to you. And that's it, man. I'm going to go eat and hang out with the family.
Thank you so much. You have a wonderful weekend. And, hey, congrats on the gig tomorrow night. It's going to, Saturday night. Of course, I'll be listening. And, I wanted to say it on the air, and I'm sorry to get a chance to, and I know you got to go, but